All right, gang. Well, let's jump in. So we're going live in three. Yeah, wow, that was super quick. Hey, everybody. Welcome to It's a Long Story. Yes, everybody say hi.
Hi.
We have we have a few less this week for a very good reason, as they are tying the knot, and we are very excited for them, and it's awesome. And I'm going to try to figure out a way to be able to celebrate that when they return. Um, but in the meantime, we're going to play without them, and they get to watch this and hopefully beam with excitement and adoration in our crew handling the handling the situation that they're in with aplomb and just amazing bouts of heroism in all its forms. I think I should think about some. I keep forgetting to do this. I need to make sure I'm thinking about it now. So there's a couple things right up front. Just a reminder for anyone who's watching right now. This week, excuse me, for all of this month, we are hosting a Learn to Play D&D on Saturdays. They will at least be at 3 o'clock. I think, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I think we're also trying to do an 11 a.m. one, but that one might be moved depending. So if you're interested if you're watching this from whatever or from whomever, you're interested in playing D&D this month, please feel free. I'll make sure I actually need to make sure I put a link in this video for that. So I'll make sure that I do that this time around. Maybe I'll just do that in that comment thing right now while we're setting stuff up. But in the meantime, the one thing we did not do was figure out who was going to tell us what happened last week. Nose goes for it.
I mean, I can. I mean, not much happened, really. I mean,
Not much. Oh wow. Okay, Finn's not doing it. Chris, why don't you take it away?
Sure.
All right, man, go
Last
for it.
week, after our group extricated themselves from the gold ghosts and the molten lava gold pits, they found themselves in a room with a plinth with gold everywhere. And thankfully, to our new member who can read everything, we were able to read inscriptions and learning that the plinth wanted the item of most value before it. So the group went and searched and found many things, such as like a genie lamp, a giant hammer, a statue, and then the Doomkeeper shield or whatever Tishian called it. We were able to solve the problem with a little, not perfectly, with some damage taken, but we were able to put a oil lantern symbolizing light in front of a statue of a king, which the plinth opened a door to another, which contained 3 statues with another riddle that the statues were going to basically need something before they took it from us. And Green, on a great initiative roll and a lot of great thinking, realized that they needed life, so he healed both of them in the first round. No damage is done, and then a portal was opened to another realm. Slagtan checked to see if the gold would hurt them. That was formed. It did not. He walked through. Coming through, all his gear, weapons, and shield were covered in gold. Some of the other party who already had magical items were not able to bring them through the portal, so they left them hidden behind, whereas Panthera was able to basically wild shape her cloak into herself and able to get through. There the party came into just a new dimension almost, with golden driders, and we had entered into the realm of ore.
That's right. Very cool. And that is, yeah, that is pretty much it. I mean, I think from where we guys had you left off, you were just kind of, you kind of like bumped into each other on the sheer magnificence of this place. Very cool. So I think with that, let's go ahead and jump straight in.
So, like I said, we didn't do much.
Take out Finn from this No, I'm just kidding.
Lightning.
What? Wait. Where
Lightning
am I?
strike from nowhere inside the cave. All right. So, as you guys are, so just a reminder from like where you guys came up, there were two very large, mechanically speaking, huge spider-like creatures that had a human sort of had a human torso, arms, head. You can see that there are masks, and for the sake of future reference, almost everyone here is going to have some sort of mask on their face that you're not able to tell really if it's armor or if it's just what their face is. Within this mask, you don't see any slits for eye holes, no spots for talking or even breathing. But looking at this creature, these Driders, which are pretty much what they are, we would call them golden Driders for now. You see them, there's two of them, both holding spears, standing, I'd say probably at least 10 feet, I would say. And you see there are, they actually have 4 legs that are kind of coming off of this thorax spider-like body, but gilded completely in gold. And as they're leading you across this extremely long bridge, right there, I would like everybody to roll a perception check for me as you're looking about.
Can I also ask a question?
Yes, please.
Do these things, because the way you're describing them as metal and gold, are they mechanical or just covered in gold?
That's a good question. I'll say we can rely on your perception check to be focusing on that, maybe.
All right. 19 for me.
Nice.
23.
Nice.
If it's visual, it's 10.
Okay, cool. And Panthera?
Yeah, I rolled a 12. I didn't know if it showed up.
Okay, cool.
My passive,
yeah,
my passive perception is 20, but yeah.
Cool. I think the activeness of this is really trying to kind of take in all of the new information around you as you are looking about. And actually, let's put it to this point of just viewing. So just a general sort of perspective, I don't think anyone rolled below a 10, right? So looking around, I think in a way, like the best way for me to try to explain this is that there is so much that is gold here that it's almost hard to see defining lines of walls, of columns, of even like creatures moving along. There is very little here that is not some sort of form of gold. You see some rock formations that have these very like kind of like dark grays and browns and blacks, but it's hard to notice them from the twinkling from the ore that is surrounding all of them. There is a couple areas that you actually see there are there's no other way to put this. They're essentially just literally just waterfalls of molten gold that are coming off this kind of top range is just above you guys' point of view. You can see that outside of this large bridge, there seems to be some holes that are dug out. That you can see that they're, from your distance, they're easily 200, maybe 300 feet away. You see way more. Closer to like 500 feet away. It's very, very far. So this cave, so to speak, truly feels city size big. So you see that there's little golden sort of pieces that are moving around that look to be humanoid of some regard. And you see directly in front of you is a very large golden palace. So now that we have kind of the basic idea of what's going on here, I'm going to say just kind of an additive to the perception check that you've got. What do you think you're specifically looking for? And feel free to just kind of pose this as a question like, is there this sort of thing? We'll start with Adim, who is really focusing on their what's the word?
Their makeup, their consistency. I'm not sure.
Well, I meant your the guards essentially.
Yes.
These striders. I didn't want to say captors because it doesn't. I don't say it necessarily feels like that, but it is also probably really hard to tell. With the 19, it feels like you're in a place that you don't feel like you belong here more than Adim has ever felt before.
He feels that way a lot, so okay.
Yeah, this is an extreme point of that.
All right.
I'd say from looking at these striders, with a 19, they seem to move very swiftly. There doesn't seem to be any sort of like jerky movements with them, which you might have seen with some automatons from like Dare's War or places in South Imea. These creatures seem to have some sort of organicness to them. They seem to be some sort of form of to put it in kind of a simpler term sort of thing. It looks like it most likely bleeds if you can find the right spot.
Okay.
Anything else with the 19? 19's pretty good.
If I think of something before it's through, I'll tell you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good. All right. Coming to Slagtan, you got a 10, was it?
Yeah, very okay. Two
so-
things.
yeah, go for it.
One was similar to Adim is, do those beings smell alive? And the other one is there a ceiling?
Well, go ahead and roll with advantage because you're using your sense of smell.
We'll just make this the second roll.
Yeah,
It's a 12.
12. With a 12, you have that smell of like, it's almost like acidic in that metallic sort of way, but
Mhm.
I would say this, judging from your sense of smell, you're not sure.
Okay.
But as far as looking up, you do see, I'd say probably about maybe about, trying to kind of judge in my head how high that is. I'd say at least 500 feet up.
Okay.
Maybe somewhere between 500 and 750 feet up. You do
Okay.
see that there does seem to be a ceiling. The same sort of material, you see that there is heavy pieces of ore that have kind of come down as stalactites. Yeah. So these golden ore stalactites that kind of come down, and they seem to be very compared to some of the like very decorative sort of pieces around. They seem to be very they seem to be untouched.
Okay.
Specifically untouched, actually.
Okay.
All right. Panthera, what are you looking for?
Well, since she is in direwolf form right now, she is going to be, and I rolled with it. I rolled one more time advantage because of hearing and smell, and she's just going to be, and I got a 24 on that. Oh, actually a 20. I take that back, a 21. on that last roll.
Okay.
So she is just going to be. She's going to be listening and smelling how these things, like do they make a sound when they're walking, like a metallic sound, and what do they smell like? Are they alive? Basically, trying to figure out, and just trying to pick up any sense of I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's anything that's giving off a sense of danger. I don't know. I don't know what I'm just listening
If you're looking for a sense of danger, I would like you to roll a survival check instead.
Okay, sure. I can do that. $20.
Okay. With a 20, and just to clarify, yes, you do hear like metallic clinking of essentially metal on metal as this bridge is solid gold throughout. So you hear 8 footsteps that are to either side of you, and with that 20 survival check, you get the feeling, like looking up at these creatures, like looking at their face, seeing if they like kind of turn or meet your attention or anything like that. In that regard, they do seem almost robotic. They don't turn, they don't acknowledge you. I would say with the dirty 20, I imagine there's probably a point where you see if you could slow down and see if they slow down with you, if you wanted to do that. And I think you notice that they do seem to slow down, but they're not like, there's no push from you to come forward. I'd say also with the dirty 20, you get a sincere feeling of control. Like, from their part. They don't seem. This seems to be an odd situation, but it's only reflected off of yourself. I think for what you're seeing from them, they seem confident.
Okay.
But yeah, I think with the 20, you feel that. You feel a good feeling that your lives are not in danger at this moment.
Okay, that's basically what I wanted to try to get the sense of.
I will say also with that survival check too, because I'm kind of clinging along to you're a druid and you're noticing animals and things like that. I would say that one of the things that you notice right out of the gate, and I think all of you, once you start to get to maybe like a certain point in this bridge, you start to realize that everything is lit up. There's no purple torches. There's actually, you don't really see from the vantage point where you're at, you actually don't see any torches at all. What you do see is along the sides of the bridge and essentially kind of like in the air, very scattered, are swarms of golden light. And they have, I think specifically for Panthera, for you, they have a quality that reminds you of fireflies.
Oh.
Yeah.
So something akin to bioluminescence. Okay.
All right. With that, lastly, Grian, You rolled a 23, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. What are you looking for?
Going to just be looking at like lay of the land type of thing. Like, is this like a hustle bustle city? Is there like only a few of them? Are they all the same creature? Like, just kind of taking in the surroundings and seeing what exactly they're dealing with and what they're walking into.
Okay, cool. That's a good question. I think as far as like the makeup of the beings that you've seen at first, the only beings that you've seen are these floating, sort of night-looking entities that seem to have, you know that they have breath, you know that you're able to heal them, so you know that there was some sort of organic material in there with them. And these Driders do look somewhat similar. You notice that the helm of their head, for the lack of a better word, is very similar in nature. It does look a little different. You can see that there's actually some like plumage that kind of like runs down back that looks like hair or a mane. It is hard to tell even with a 23. And I will say with a 23, as you're looking out beyond the bridge to your left or to your right, you see that there are some beings that it's not like I think, kind of judging from what you're saying, it's not really like necessarily like ant colony busy. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't look like everybody is working all the time. They don't look like they're in specifically any sort of hurry. And I will say that with a 23, you notice that a couple of the figures, you notice that some of the figures seem to be bipedal from the distance that you are. And again, that's like 500 feet away, I guess. Because you don't see multiple legs, you don't see any sort of version of a thorax. They also seem to be most likely relatively your height, as you kind of like gauge based on like cave formations that you've seen before. So like looking at the rock walls, like how where the holes are, they seem to be in line to how you would imagine about roughly human height. You notice that a couple, every once in a while, a couple of them seem to stop, and from that distance, you only see them stopping, but you get the feeling that they're staring at you.
Cool.
Anything else before we?
I have thought of a backup question since you said I could have one.
Yes.
You mentioned the firefly-like creatures that are floating about and the glowing building, and the waterfalls are molten. Based on my knowledge of the sea, when you get deep enough, there is no light unless it's bioluminescent or unless it's hot. Given that you're telling me there's no other light source and this building is glowing, are the fireflies enough to cause the entire building to glow? Like, are there enough of them and is there enough light, or does it seem like it's coming from the buildings itself?
That's a good question. I think at this point, I'd say you guys are probably about 3/4 of the way there. And you get the feeling that a lot of what is lighting up this city has to be those little bugs.
Okay.
You see, like you kind of determine that as you guys get closer, it's probably more of a reflective thing than anything. Obviously, gold is not like mirror-like, but it does seem to reflect the light in this way. Also, looking down below, the molten gold is very hot and therefore very lava-like. I'd say
Sounds good.
Go ahead. Okay. I was just gonna say, even with from the range, I don't know if I answered this question yet, but I'd say from the range that you are with this bridge, it's hard to say. It's hundreds of feet below you, somewhere between 200 and 300. It's really hard to tell because you have no like gauging point of being able to see. It's just gold. as you all get to the end of the bridge, you see another figure that is seems to be standing waiting for you. This figure looks, as I said before, I think the Driders and the knights that you saw have a similar sort of helm. This figure even looks even more like the knights that you've seen before. Not floating, looks to be bipedal. Doesn't have swords for hands, but the helm looks very similar. Is anyone a military man?
Tishian.
No, none of you really are. Yeah, Tishian would be. Yeah. Okay.
I may have seen I may have seen the military going from dock to dock, but I'm not military.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it would be enough to notice this. You see as the figure, as you approach the figure, the figure stands about 6'1", 6'3", slender sort of frame, even with the armored sort of, but again, that you don't know if it's some sort of carapace or their actual, or like an actual armor. You see this figure nod to you, and then continue to walk with you, just as the Driders are walking with you. It looks like you're being taken into. There are no doors here. It looks like you're being taken further in through what would be best be kind of looked at as like an open sort of gate, so an open like palace gate. As you walk down this hallway, and you see again, you hear that you hear a very soft like above you as the flies have seemed to kind of come in through the windows and seem to align themselves right near the ceiling of this. So you feel like you're closed in on a space that's about 20 feet high, and say about 15 feet across. So yeah, question.
Are these lights like Ianthes lights?
In what way?
Dancing lights. Are they similar to something like that?
I think.
Or smaller?
I think now that you're closer to them, they do seem to be insects of some sort.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say it doesn't seem like it's it doesn't seem like it's necessarily magical in that way, like someone's casting something.
Okay.
Along the corridors, you see there are there's no like markings representing any sort of like symbolism of like past lives or things that you see on many sort of buildings like this. There's nothing that actually shows anything culturally that would make sense to you guys right now. You do see that along every sort of every slight column, you see that there is a white, like a silvery white cloth that I'd say, Grian, you're the first to recognize look very much like the white cloth that was around the essentially the capes of these knights. And they're perfectly aligned, each side coming down. As you guys continue to walk forward, opens up into a it looks like a courtroom, but I would say it seems somewhat short for a courtroom? Like, is it like a grand court sort of like thing? Something that actually none of you have seen, so that would make this anyone but Titian. I would say like in the way that you would think a medieval court sort of looks like. I would cut that in half. It's still very tall, and it kind of opens up to this kind of like cathedral-like sort of look. And standing at the center, you don't see any chair behind them or anything. Standing is a feminine form, again gilded in this same sort of golden material. You see this mask-like face with no distinguishing marks for eyes or a mouth. You see that one hand, the right hand of this seeming feminine creature, has the same sort of sword as what the knights had, and the other one has what looks to be 5 fingers, albeit very long.
She's similar height to the other one.
Yeah, good question. She's a little shorter. She's about maybe 5'10".
The tall people.
You notice that there's no throne here. There's no chair or anything like that behind her. I'd like everybody to roll a perception check on what happens next.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
6.
22.
22.
I got a nat 20 for 24, but I feel like it was cocked, so I'll roll it again.
No, let's keep it. I love it.
Okay.
Fantastic. I trust you. I admire your honesty. For everybody, you hear this like hissing sound. I think Slagtime, for you, it almost sounds like it's similar to like a kettle, or whatever Slagtime's version of like what that sound would be. And I'd say for those who rolled above a 20, you can tell it's some sort of conversation that's happening between the woman who has now taken a few steps down towards you both and the I would say probably just the more masculine form of the man that met you at the end of the gate. With a nat 20, you don't understand this language because I don't think you have a thing for that. But you do get the feeling you are being addressed to a highness. It felt like this was a conversation that was short, and it just gave that feeling to you as if like you were being presented. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. You see the female being kind of look behind her, and this humanesque looking being comes down a staircase. I say humanesque because it looks fully human, but comes down a staircase on all fours. So you see these kind of like long-limbed sort of movements that might actually be slightly longer than a human body. And you see it comes and kind of like, doesn't really kneel because it can't kneel with all four, but like kind of like bows to this woman. And you see on its back, there are like these golden rocks, just like everything else in this room. But it seems like they're actually glowing. And I think this female being takes one of the rocks, actually takes two of them, holds one of them, actually holding two in their hand, and then kind of like puts it along the sword so that and kind of pushes it near Grian. So you have this stone that's presented to you.
Okay, so she touched it without qualm.
Mhm.
And we touched all the other stuff in the room without issue.
Yep.
So Grian will, in an attempt not to be rude or anything, just reach out and pick one up.
Cool.
So confident.
So confident.
Gonna die.
Roll me an Arcana check.
15?
15? Okay, cool. You feel that there's some sort of magic that is emanating from this rock, and as you're kind of staring into it, it seems to somewhat glow on its own. And as you're looking at it, you hear a voice in your head that says, "You may call me Zarineth, the Queen of Or. How may I address you?" For everyone else, all you hear is the sound of steam.
He'll just yeah. Good evening, Your Grace. My name is Grian McCraith. And these are my acquaintances. We've come. I mean, I don't know how we really got here, but I think we've all come seeking something. Maybe you might be able to help us.
On his mention of his grace or her grace,
This is actually an interesting question. How are you talking? Are you physically talking, or are you trying to respond to the message in your head?
Grian probably would have responded in his head. Just that's where it came from. That's where it came from.
oh, okay. Well, then I don't.
I will say, like, Grian, do you make a motion to the group that you're like, it seems like she's talking to me, like, sort of thing? Or do you say, like, you could say,
Or
like,
am I just like
names
super
or
awkward and be like, wow?
Yeah, and you just stand there.
He'll
to everyone else, to Slaghead, it just looks like you're extremely rude. You're just looking at this rock while this movement's in front of you.
I did not get rock. Does he get rock?
Grian will, I guess, just turn around and just be like, pardon me a second, and he'll just I'll be right back, just talking in my head a little bit to them and trying to figure out what's going on. Sorry. Go back to the rock.
Cool. So I think with that information, you guys get the idea that most likely what the queen gave to him is allowing this conversation to happen. And I will say the creature that is there seems to be that there's like this is kind of gross. The stones seem to be protruding from their back. So, but it doesn't seem like it's this person isn't necessarily like far away. Like if you guys made a motion to I'm allowing anyone, if they want to be a part of this conversation, they can, is what I'm saying. But you would have to most likely have one of these stones.
She removed 2 of them and put them on her sword, right? So it's kind of like, or is she holding one?
She's holding one.
And so Green's holding the other.
Mhm.
So if anyone else wanted to essentially like pop the pimples on this thing's back and like take one.
Yep.
I mean, Adim is looking at the stone he's holding, the popped pimple, for lack of a better term, and looking at the other guy, and it's clear on his face. He's like, I'm not touching that guy unless I'm offered. Like,
Cool.
I'm not just gonna walk and say, oh, here, let me grab this from your back. You know, I'm a guest. So he looks at it, comes to an understanding, and goes, I will wait. And kind of steps behind into the side of Grian. Like, he'll let him talk unless he's invited to do so.
Awesome.
I think
guess-
it's kind of, I'm trying to respect the boundaries of the little rock guy, so I wouldn't be, well, I don't think I would feel comfortable yanking a rock out of his back.
Okay. Cool.
Nor would I.
All right.
You know,
The
Wolf.
queen does not seem to notice the awkwardness of only talking to one person. So I will say, with the rest of you that are waiting while this conversation is happening, I would like, yeah, let's just call it another perception check, I think. So everybody except for Green.
Broke a 15 finally.
Botched it.
16.
14.
14. Okay. Okay. Cool. So I think, Slagtail, from your position, you're always kind of trying to make sure that you know where the exits are, know how many people are in this room, know that if things were to go down, who are you watching that's going to be rushing forward. At first, you don't see many other people in this room, but again, mostly because it is gold on gold on gold on gold. Outlines just seem to blur after a little bit.
Sure.
I think you realize as you're looking at this whole scene, there is a small. Actually, small is not the right word. I would say the rather large-looking, like, golden emblem on the high up on this wall that you're honestly only about maybe 30 feet from. And so it's the back of the wall, and you see it. It has the like depiction of this like spider-like being, and you can see that in the center. There looks to be, at first, it just looks to be like an illusory sort of like concave, kind of like golden setting, as if there's like a stone that's missing, and then you notice that there is a shadow behind it, and you recognize that it looks to be some sort of window. You can't really see the figure behind it. It seems to be at least tinted in this gold. At least that's not with a 16.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth my time right now to bring attention to pointing it out, but I'm going to bank it. And yeah.
Awesome. I think with a 14, I think Panthera, you also see that.
I'm sorry, Joe. You're getting fainter to me. I don't know. Everybody else sounds loud enough, but you're kind of getting fainter, and I'm having trouble hearing you.
Do you have me turned up?
I do all the way. Yes, I have everybody turned up all the way.
Okay.
I think as far as I can see,
Is anyone else noticing any difference?
I mean, there I can hear you really well, but you're I don't know what's going on. I can hear everybody else fine. You're just occasionally getting too, I guess, boche for me to hear.
I got you. You're good. Hold on 1 second. All right. Is that better?
That is better. Yes. Thank you.
All right. I am cranked. We'll go with that. Cool. And no worries.
So-
There were some issues with this last time too. So,
Okay,
so
so-
just to recap on what you saw. So you have a, you see on the back wall of this kind of courtroomish, almost more cathedral-ish, really, in a lot of ways. You see that there is this very large emblem of this spider-esque sort of. I would say it just legitimately kind of just looks like a decoration of a spider, but on the thorax itself there seems to be some sort of concave spacing that at first looks like there was like a gem that's supposed to be there, and then you notice that there is a shadow that passes behind it, and you recognize that it looks to be like some sort of veiled window.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, as that's going on, so Grian, you said you weren't really sure why you were here. Zaraneth, which you'll be hereforto known as. Actually, let me put it in the thing so that we can. Okay. Zaraneth actually responds and says, "The Seeress knew you were coming," and you see her kind of motion with her one hand kind of behind her, which I would say with your perception just draws attention to this window. We were told to welcome your presence. You must understand this is a very odd situation for us. No one... Just kind of pauses for a second. No one alive that we know of knows of our existence. First and foremost, our main concern is that stays the case.
I mean, it's a little bit of a weird circumstance for us too. We had no idea that you were down here. So I think I can guarantee that all of us will not say anything and keep it as quiet as I can, or as we can.
Roll me an insight check.
Okay. 22.
Okay. One of the things you notice is you do notice that the male figure with you seems to put a hand to his side where a knight would have a sword. And you get in her response to this that you saying, "I think," and "maybe," is not convincing. So she responds with, "I need your word."
He will place his I guess like fingers on the rainbow pendant that he wears, and he'll just say, "I swear it on my being in my family that we will not say a word about you here to anyone."
Roll a persuasion check.
Bro, the one time my dice is like, haha, roll low. It's a 9.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty bad. What did you roll with your insight check, actually?
22, I think is what he said. 22 on your insight check, didn't you?
Oh, me? Yeah, it was like an 18 plus 4.
Okay. 22. That's what I thought.
With a 22, I'm going to allow you to roll that, because I think the reality is there would have been a part of this that you wouldn't have had to roll a persuasion check. You were swearing on people that no one in this room has seen, or at least them, that they don't know that they exist. You're touching a pendant that they don't seem to understand. Everything that you're swearing on is not something that they can deem even valuable to you.
Okay.
So we can rewind that if you want.
A little better. So persuasion, 13.
Well, I mean, the DC will be affected on how you say this.
Okay. So, kind of like backtrack. Okay. And we haven't had a long rest yet.
Nope.
Okay. So, okay. Let's go.
Ask a question so you can think real quick.
Right, fuck my life.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm like, it's like trying to answer while I'm not doing like an Aussie accent. I'm like, okay, do an Irish accent, but it's getting a little.
It's totally fair in this case to be like, I need to focus, and I'm gonna drop the accent for this. That's
cool,
totally
I'll drop
fine.
the accent.
But in the meantime, we'll give you a little bit of pause. Go ahead.
Okay.
Real quick question: is Ianthe and Titian with us now?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yep. I'd say with Ianthe, Ianthe seems concerned, and her mind seems a little elsewhere. That is both convenient and probably true, as there's a lot that's happened in a very, very short amount of time, involving specific things that she had to leave behind.
Right.
Weird things that's been going on. Titian. I'd say
I'm gonna
Titian
pull the
would
rock out of that thing.
Yeah. Titian. Yeah, Titian probably would, but I will say for the sake of not, not imposing
Right.
what I think Matt would do, I will say that Titian is most likely one of you may have given Titian a look of like, don't touch anything, like sort of thing.
So, Green will go ahead and just he'll make his eyes glow into the gold color, like the gold irises.
Okay.
And he will go ahead and drop to like one knee and just kind of put his hand like over his chest and bend forward, kind of in like that, like not knighting position, but like a little bit more lower, as in like bowing your head, where you close the neck. That's kind of like you're in control. And he will he will say, "On my magic and my soul, I swear we will not speak a word to anyone outside of this cavern."
When I see that, will put myself in a submissive pose, the dire wolf, lower my head, and like, I don't know if that'll give him advantage on a persuasion check or anything like that, but I don't know what's going on. But yeah, but as soon as I see him bow, it's the first time I've realized that, we're in the presence of somebody who deserves respect. I mean, deserve respect, but now I know for sure. So I will lower my head. I will bow.
Okay, cool. What are the rest of you doing?
I would be looking at Adim going, what is going on?
And I just kind of give a shrug of my shoulders, and I don't bow, but instead of holding my trident the way I have been, like in a defensive pose, I will just put it so it's more like a support.
Okay.
So it's less militaristic, I guess, but since I have no idea why he's kneeling and they're not communicating with me, I am doing my best to show respect without deference because I don't know who they are.
Sure. So I'll say this. I think DC's lower. And I will say in regards to the bow, I won't give you advantage, but I will say is essentially guidance. That was that Panthera gave you there.
So, guidance is what, a D4, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. And then it's persuasion.
Persuasion. Yep.
That is still going to be a 13.
Okay. Cool. You see a nod from the Serenith as you look up. She seems to wait until your eyes come forward, and she nods in respect to that. Your insight was off the charts, so I think one of the things you notice is that this room has not gotten this room has not fallen back to its original not darkness, but it still seems oddly bright in here. And I will say you also, out of your peripherals, probably see that the gentleman that's with you has not put his hands down, still in that position, but she still seems to nod.
Did we clock that?
I think so. I think you guys clocked that. Especially use like that. But yeah, I think she looks around at you all, and I would say you guys do look pretty beat up. So, well,
actually, in direwolf form, I'm in perfect health right now.
So, do you not want a long rest then?
No, I do want a long rest, but I'm just saying in direwolf form, I look in perfect health. I don't look
right.
beat
The
up.
rest of your party looks pretty beat up, though.
The rest of my party looks like shit.
So, looking around all of you, she's gonna be. Oh, well, there you go. There's a nat 20. She looks at all of you and goes, "Am I to understand that you are these beings that travel with you are ones that need rest periodically?" I couldn't hear you if you said something.
You're the only one who can talk to her.
Yeah, it's actually in my head. You guys don't know what's happening. Really don't know.
We have no idea. So you're the only.
You're going so meta. Love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Entire conversation. No one knows.
So method act.
Theater of the mind. Yes. Everybody here needs a little bit of rest to come back from the fighting that we had as a surprise on the way here, but we would all really appreciate it. Your kindness and your hospitality.
I see. There is a room up these stairs that should house all of you for you to regain your strength. We shall talk after that.
Thank you, Your Grace. And he'll stand up.
Okay.
And he'll turn to the rest of the party. And so her name is Zaraneth, right?
Yeah, I'd say as you're explaining this, you get the feeling that you're expected to follow someone. So if you're going to go into the explanation of everything that's going on, you're like in the middle of it.
I'll just be like, "This is the Queen of the Ore, and we're all going to go this way, but I'll explain along the way."
Cool.
All right.
You see her kind of take a couple steps back. In case you were waiting, Panthera, she did roll a perception check. So you're good. You see her take a few steps back and nod to this humanoid creature that now that you've been kind of sitting for a little bit, you notice that there is the eyes. There are actually like eye marks on this mask that look to be like very large for the face. You see that there are actually slits in the middle of them, and the like chin itself seems to be what's the word? Opposite of protruding.
Corrected?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's much of a chin there. So just
We're talking about the
concave.
four-legged human.
Mhm.
So its eyes wouldn't happen to be green, are they?
Eyes are not green.
Okay.
And in this way, you actually see it because there are slits here. That means that this most likely is some sort of mask. There's no, all you see is black underneath the slits. You see Zaraneth kind of give a nod, and you see this creature just start to like scurry back up the steps, go about halfway, and then turn and look back at you all.
I'm gonna really quick, just because I'm still holding the rock, and just excuse me, Your Grace, should I put this back or should I keep it?
Think of it as a welcoming gift.
Thank you, Your Grace. And he'll just kind of, because he had pointed that we're going that way, he'll kind of go that way.
You got it. Cool. And I assume the rest of you kind of just follow up the stairs.
Yep.
Follow
Yeah,
Orion.
I'll follow,
He's welcome.
Slytherin, what did you say?
Said I'll follow Grian since he's the one who's been doing the silent talking.
As you guys come up the steps, there's a couple things you notice that everything here looks very pristine, especially the floor. You notice that there are the hallway that you're traveling down. There does seem to be some sort of white cloth that's on the ground that looks that has that same sort of silvery white sort of look as the capes. And this creature is like kind of like just clink 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 along the ground as you're following it. And I think one thing that Green, because you're leading the group, but well, no, actually, Green specifically because you're leading the group, you wouldn't see this, but at Dean, you would notice this. Like, you guys are pretty dirty. So there's like this white sort of very like gorgeous. What's the word? Not a runway, but like.
It's like a
red carpet, but white.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Okay.
You're seeing footprints as you see like a Deem and maybe Slagtan as walking across. You see that there's marks that are being left.
I will verbally but quietly just go, I am so sorry.
Are you directing that to anyone or just in general?
No, I mean it's loud enough that it's pretty quiet. I'm not yelling it, but I'm not like directing it. I'm not trying to keep it secret. Like just I notice I'm like I am so sorry.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah.
The constant prestidigitation on the floor.
Actually, can I like nudge Ianthe and be like, can you just how's it going?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. She goes, oh, yes, of course. And then just behind everybody, just kind of turns, just starts to kind of cast small bits of prestidigitation.
Awesome. Thank you, cousin.
That is going to work in your favor. Good job. So as you guys come down the hallway, you can see that like as you're seeing this creature kind of like walk, you see the pimples isn't the best word. I would say that it almost seems more like eggs. They're attached to this creature, then they seem to like kind of move back and forth, and you could feel like Grian, you have one of them, and there's a weight to it. It just feels like a rock. Albeit like some parts probably feel a little smoother. And you see them kind of just like rustling back and forth as this creature's kind of moving forward. And eventually just gets to this open doorway. There is no door. And you see this creature kind of just stop, clink, 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 turn around, and then just kind of look at you. And you see it actually kind of just does one of these. It's like, it seems to be, you actually see it kind of like move its legs like to be as tall as it possibly can. It seems to be kind of like looking you up and down.
I guess I'll hold on to the rock and see if I can communicate with it and just try to telepath. Do you have a name?
I'm rolling like shit today. Just continues to like kind of like look down, and you hear this like weird sort of clicking sound behind the mask, and doesn't seem to understand.
Cool. So I'll, I guess, turn to the rest of the group, and so this is going to be our room for at least the night, and as you can see, there's no door because they're really big on honesty here. Be true to no lying to them at all, hence the no doorway. But they'll let us go ahead and sleep. I'm not sure if there's a shower in there or nothing, but
She showered.
Maybe I could just prestidigitation us.
Yeah, so you could take a look in. It is bare. You see that there are let's try and see how ridiculous this room looks. Okay.
it's like a
cool.
prison cell.
You see, I mean, not a prison cell, but like, you get the, this is, imagine an alien trying to assume what your human basic needs are. That's essentially what you're dealing with here. You do see that there are, there looks to be like solid like level blocks of gold, like almost like in a way of like looking like coffins, that are sitting in the room, and there is a white cloth over each of them, but no pillowcases, no drawers, no pillows, certainly no shower or anything like that.
And just so I'm clear, there's a Drider at the door, and he's watching us.
Nope, not a driver.
Oh, there isn't?
Specifically, for the most part, just imagine a human with slightly longer limbs and that like kind of bug sort
Okay,
of mask.
but there is somebody at the door, and he is watching us and is not going
Yes.
away.
Well,
If
you
I-
guys haven't walked into the room yet. You guys are just standing.
Oh, okay.
If I tap on the thing, does it feel solid or does it feel hollow on the inside?
What's the thing? The
That,
rock?
like, yeah, the rock.
I'd say
Curious.
it feels slightly hollow.
Okay. Well, thank you for the gift, and I'll hold it up, and for the escort to the room. We all appreciate it. I'm sure they appreciate it too.
Okay.
It's
I'm
not that
getting- I'm
comfy
getting-
in here, but I'm going to go ahead and go inside.
I'm getting rid of this die, but I rolled a nat 1 on understanding you, so you hold the stone up, and it takes it from you.
Awkward.
Puts it on its back, and then just waits for you to enter the room.
I'm gonna go in the room.
Okay.
So awkward.
I will follow him in, asking Anthony to
We'll
continue
follow him. I will. Yeah.
and maybe get us clean before we lay down for the evening, so we leave the room as little of a mess as possible.
Yes, of course. All right,
I'm
everybody.
sorry, I don't have it. I would. I don't think creating water is the best thing to do here.
No, it's fine. Everybody just line up, and just one by one. She just prestidigitates. She just says, yeah, that's gonna have to be enough.
Thank you.
And there's my Chelsea impression for the day.
It's excellent.
Yeah, and you, well, if there's anything you guys want to do right now, feel free. But
What
you
is
are all
going
set up for
on?
a long rest. Yeah.
I think we're sleeping in this big room.
Hey, does the gentleman leave?
Yeah, good question. You do hear this like clink, 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 clink. As it
Okay, good. I come out of wolf form. I just didn't want to do it in front of him to surprise him and go, what? This?
Is there a back to the room?
There is. So you see that there is another open doorway that seems to come out to what is essentially a balcony.
I want to take the bed furthest from the entrance.
Okay, cool.
The bed. I'm putting
Right,
air
right.
quotes around that.
Right.
The coffin-like structure.
The rock.
I think everything I rolled in the past 10 minutes was none of it was above a 10. So sorry, you guys got nothing. Nothing good.
To be fair, like they have zero idea like anything about us, so I don't
Nope.
expect them to really be. And this is new, so I don't expect royal luxuries.
Yeah, I think you also kind of
They don't even have a chair, so
They
Yeah.
they didn't have a throne. They didn't have a
Yeah.
chair. There's nothing that showed any sort of sense of like an understanding of mortal exhaustion.
so these creatures that are in here, though one downstairs was the queen. She was very nice, but they are very trusting people. But basically, what happened? I
In
species.
what
I
way
have
did
no
you
idea.
get that they were
Oh.
trusting people?
No, I said they're like very much like on your word that they are like they
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough. I get what you're saying.
Not like trusting like oh come in, but like
Yeah.
say the right thing, like speak the truth. Um, they offered us shelter for the night, but they don't know how we got here and why we're here, and they don't get many visitors, if probably at all. Hence why the beds are probably just stone.
The DM's just going to point out, unless you're planning something here, I never said that.
That they don't get visitors.
Said that she did. I never said that she didn't know why you were here.
Well, I don't know why we're here. but okay, so then I'll amend that. But that's pretty much what happened. Oh, and then she asked us to like not say anything to anyone ever about their existence. And I swore we wouldn't. So yeah.
I did one put hand by sword.
I don't know if he trusts that we won't say anything about them ever.
They're not.
So I
so
don't think he
trusting.
trusts us very much.
So they are not so trusting.
They're looking for more honesty, and that's where that they'll trust you as long as you're honest, but you got to be convincing about it.
I am open book.
I don't have a reason to do anything bad to anybody here right now, so fine. I mean, they seem nice enough. I don't think they're the direct cause of the attacks on us in the mines. I think those were I hope not at least, I think those are the dead that were trying to get in and failed.
I have a question, Joe. Just as we came into this cavern, fought through all the gold monsters and everything like that, have I noticed any type of vegetation anywhere?
Oh yeah.
I believe, just I think a point of clarification. I believe, and I could be wrong. That might have just happened in my head, but I believe there's a point where you actually asked me that, and I specifically said no, and that's weird.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember. I thought I had asked that question, but I just wanted to clarify because now I have third level spells and I can access plant growth, but if there are no plants around, it doesn't really do any good.
Yeah, I mean, you guys weren't. I mean, you're in a mountain, so there probably, there wouldn't be a ton, but there's always something that seems to kind of come through in the areas of like that, those kind of like upper levels of where you were. There was nothing.
Okay. Cool. That's I just wanted to clarify that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So what we are doing, we are sleeping, we are resting.
Yes, we are.
We should probably be guards, though.
I stay awake first. I not feel too bad.
I can take the last shift. I feel bad.
Take the first shift.
Cool.
Okay, hang on. I've got a long rest. Hang on.
So before you guys do that, just one quick thing I do want to mention. Might give this to someone who's gonna make sense to. It's not gonna make sense to Grian. I'll say Panthera, but I would say Panthera, give me a perception check on the rest of your party. So I see you also have it as level 5 right now. So I'm gonna say for the sake of just simplifying this, roll me a d20 and add your wisdom modifier.
Okay. right, come on.
What'd you get?
8.
8. Okay, cool. You're pretty exhausted. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's happened in the past 24 hours that has knocked a lot out of you. You're also further from nature than you probably ever have been.
Yeah.
So there's a feeling of like uneasiness here. Okay, cool. As you guys start your long rest, and you said Slagtan, you're taking the first watch?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So the rest of you feel free to mark a long rest. Slagtan, give me that perception check.
Scent involved.
Sure.
Okay. Finally, something decent. 18.
18. I would say with an 18, a couple things happen. You get the scent of these beings in general, to the point that you know when they're close and when they're far away.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, you get that sense of that metallic sort of acidic smell that seems to come and go past your door in the same way that before you hear them, you smell it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say with an 18, you're able to know.
They're checking on
beyond
us.
a reasonable doubt. Yeah, you kind of have that tracks. You hear the sound of this like distant sort of waterfall that is very. It's calming and. I think it's calming in a way of like constant sound.
But white noise type way.
Yeah, very white noisy, and like you've slept near waterfalls before, which has been pretty nice. I think what can also be bothering to you is that it sounds different. Like there's a lot more of a sloshiness as this texture is at least 100 times thicker.
Right.
So there's a very weird. It's almost like what you imagine like a sludge waterfall would to sound.
It's like the chocolate waterfall at Golden Corral.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. It's a constant reminder that you are not.
This is not normal at all.
Yeah, you are nowhere near normal. Okay.
And I think I would probably be pacing the entire watch because this is just not right to me.
Cool. Yeah, I think you occasionally hear this thing clink, 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 clink. Actually, I will say. Let's see. Okay, cool. I am rolling nothing but nat ones. Fuck it, I'm the DM. You do see. I have to remind myself of that sometimes, guys. You do see that there is. Occasionally, you hear this like clink, 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 and at one point, you hear it like. You hear it coming, and then leaving before seeing it past the open doorway.
Okay.
Almost as if it's like. It's just getting to a certain point right before the doorway, and then moving away.
Yeah.
I'd say just before your shift ends, you see a little peek of this bug-eyed mass, like kind of like peek into the room.
I'll tilt my head the exact same way and look at him back.
Cool. You hear the like clicking sort of sound. It kind of like shrivels back a little bit.
I'll let him know that I know he's there.
Yeah. Shrivels back, seems to poke its head in again. Seems to be a little jeez, what's the word? More confident this time. And you see the neck seem to extend out further than a neck should.
So this is just like 8 levels of creepy.
Yeah. Oh, super creepy. Roll me an insight check.
Okay.
Or, in a weird way, this creature isn't necessarily an animal, but if you want to roll an animal handling,
I will roll animal handling.
You got it.
22.
22. Nice. There are certain things about this creature that seems humanoid. And I think that's what's the creepiest thing about it, is because it doesn't act humanoid in any way. You get the feeling of, oh, this is super weird, but with the 22, you're reminded of maybe the baby owlbear.
Very curious.
Very curious, yeah.
Thank God Tishian's in here, or he is, but
I don't know. It's pretty creepy looking, but yeah. So it seems to be curious. It seems to try to figure it, like it's trying to figure out.
Tishian's like, hey, buddy, what's going on? No.
You can choose to try to interact with it if you want. I'd say also with 22, it doesn't seem, obviously doesn't seem hostile in any way.
I'm going to try to interact a little bit, at least go to the door and see if it doesn't take off. Just like
pulls back slightly.
What you are doing?
You see it take a hand and what is Slagton wearing?
Slagton's he's probably got his pack and stuff and cloak off, so he's probably just wearing like traveling clothes. Boots.
Okay.
He probably has an axe on him.
This is gonna sound weird, but where is your skin showing?
It would be like my forearms and my face.
So it's like t-shirt level, like it stops here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You see this creature like take this like gilded golden hand and push into your forehead slightly, and then pulls it away.
Okay, I'm going to use my Tishian people skills and I'm going to go feel his forehead.
Okay, cool. You see it pull back at first, and then just allow this to happen. You can feel it is just a heavy metal.
Okay. You are good. Thank you. Now go back.
Okay. Cool. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. It follows you into the room.
It's his house, not mine. You are hungry?
Who's up next in the
I was gonna stare at Grian. I was gonna just stare at Grian until he woke up. And if he doesn't wake up, I'll kick him.
you kick Grian away.
Okay, great. Oh, what? God, what is happening?
You have friend.
Oh. Hoy there. Glad to see you're back.
I'm probably not gonna go to sleep right away. I'll throw my blanket on the ground and I'll probably just sit kind of Indian style, just kind of watching to see what happens here for a little bit, and then I'll probably pass out eventually.
Cool. You do a high there like this?
Just like a...
Okay, cool. You see it start to try to emulate that and almost kind of fall over and catch it.
Oh, you were right there, and he'll kind of like bend down to like kind of crawl out of bed and bend down and figure he'll back away.
Yep, backs away. I'd say with this, it leaves unless there's something you want to do with it. I think it's gonna eventually just walk out.
I was gonna ask if I could have the rook back just so I could keep talking to the people here. And he'll just slowly just
while it gives it to you.
Thank you. And he'll nod.
Okay, nods back. Seems to understand that. And I'll say with that, roll me a persuasion check. See if you can roll higher than me.
7.
7? Yeah, not so. Okay, cool. Yeah, just walks out of the room. Okay.
That's when I'll go to sleep, is when he leaves the room.
You got it. All right. Roll me a perception check.
Can I mark my long rest now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, yes. Dirty 20.
Nice. Do you explore at all? Like, there's a balcony out here.
Yeah, I was gonna go to the balcony and kind of just like, with the idea of just like keeping, clocking your 6 and just, kind of like look over the balcony and see what exactly is presenting. Because I'm assuming the light never goes away; it's just always lit. Like
It is. It's always lit. You say you got a dirty 20?
yeah.
Yeah. Dirty 20 is pretty good. Cool. The dirty 20, you look outside and you see say you notice a couple things that's kind of odd. The one thing that you notice is that the area that you're in, right, this like essentially what we would deem to be kind of the castle of this place, is at the forefront of the city itself. Looking past where the cathedral is, you actually see there seems to be an entire other sort of level of this city. You can see that there's other buildings that have these like very beautiful architectural sort of monuments that I will say with a dirty 20 do not look conducive to being in a cave. Like, it doesn't look like, they don't look dwarvish in any way. So there's nothing about them that actually, in some ways, it actually seems very similar to surface level stuff in the architecture of that. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
You do see along, like, looking straight forward, you see past this, like, what essentially is kind of just like lake of gold. Looking across, you're now probably up maybe 200 feet away from the sides. You actually see that these beings on the side seem to be working at something. You see there's things where they seem to be carrying sort of like, or like pushing these like carts around. You see a lot of things that tell you that these are not far from being humans as far as their interaction from the outside. At least these beings up against the wall, right? Obviously, they all kind of live in their own like little like kind of like holes in the wall, which is pretty weird. But their interactions with each other, like just body language, you can tell seem to be not unlike humans. I'd say you see a smaller version. Again, they're far enough away that you can kind of see like basic outline, like stick figure level of gold, right? And you can see that there's smaller versions that seem to kind of like teeter right to the edge, and you see another sort of being that kind of like pulling back. I mean, you watch this entire civilization of people just existing and living in a place that you didn't know existed. And that's the people in the walls. You're not sure if the people past this like kind of cathedral area are different. I think I lost my train of thought there. One thing I did want to point out was that the weird thing is that the castle, the cathedral, whatever you want to call it, is actually in the forefront of this area. So it's not like it's like far back, like last vestige of like defense sort of thing. It's the first vestige defense. If something were to come through that main gateway. So that's what you kind of pick up from that.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, the dirty 20, you see one of the smaller sort of versions reach up, grab from your perspective what just looks like a light, and just it seems like it just stuffed it in its mouth.
Okay. Then I guess I guess that'll kind of just be it for
Okay.
now.
Cool. Is it one more or two more? Or do we usually do three? Can't remember.
Usually we do 3 watches.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just small things in your brain that you've done 100 times, but you still can't remember.
I think we've only
Cool.
gone through watches like once.
Well, I mean, I've done other campaigns, but every single time
Oh, yeah.
that there's a long rest, I'm just like, every time there's a long rest, someone has to keep watch, which doesn't
Yeah.
happen seemingly a lot in the other games, I guess. Okay, cool. So I think Adim's taking the last watch, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
With
so
anybody else who
yeah.
wants to, but yes, Demon taking left watch.
Got it. Adim, you, well, whatever. The shift changes.
Green will kind of just nudge a team, and
I'll get up feeling refreshed and newly leveled. Wow, I can attack more. That was a great rest.
you might be a little stiff in the
Smarter.
neck there, but I think you're gonna do just
Yeah.
fine.
I've never felt so rested in my life.
I'm going to allow this check a couple times throughout this, but I think it actually makes sense on you, like, waking up and feeling refreshed. And this, roll me a perception check, please, Adim. It's a high DC.
I'm not going to see anything then. I rolled an 11.
You got it. Cool. You open your eyes to seeing Green just kind of staring down at you.
I stare back up and kind of nod and stretch and, wake myself up so I could just wander around this golden room. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say roll a perception check, but I would say if there's something specific you're looking for, because there's not a lot in this room. This room is as bare as it gets.
actually, I kind of have something specific, not in the room itself.
Okay.
But there's 2 things I want to do. One's easy, one's might be more difficult. The easy one is, since our weapons all turn to gold, the walls seem to be made of gold, and we walked through a portal that looked like it was of gold, and we walked right through it. I don't want to hurt the wall, but I put the flat of my trident, or like the duller end of it, against the wall to see if it'll just go through.
Okay, cool. Interesting. It does not.
Okay, I'm not trying to scrape or cause damage, just like a
Right.
gentle. No, okay, I'm good. The other thing I want to do while I'm watching is whether I'm looking out the hallway or whether I'm looking over the patio, the thingy, what you call balcony, is the word I was looking for. I want to see if there's any kind of pattern to what they're doing. Are there watches? Do there seem to be people doing, like, is there a pattern I can see?
Cool. I love that.
Just trying to think of somebody who's been on ships, seen guard changes, watched people unload and load things from places. There's always a pattern when something is happening that's important. Do I see a pattern?
Cool. I will say, roll me a perception check and add your proficiency to it again. So that would be, I think it's +3 now.
Yeah, so double my
Just
proficiency.
double my proficiency. Yep, you got it.
11.
Okay, cool. I say what you notice with 11, it's you don't notice much. I will say that. I think you notice that there always seems to be things moving. You see these carts moving up and down this like sort of like very steep sort of hill. You do notice that the holes in the cavern seem to be homes in some way, or at least extensions to homes, because you see people crawling in and out of them. I think with an 11, you get the feeling that if it looks very controlled, but you don't see anyone who's necessarily in power controlling it, if that makes sense. You also you don't see, like, judging the cart moving up the hill, like, or up this like very steep slope sort of, you don't see these creatures stop to like take a breath, mop their head. Like, there's nothing that involves any sort of sense of exhaustion.
Do the carts also come down?
They do.
Okay, it's not just the eternal leaving. Okay.
No, yeah, that's a good question. No.
All right. Noticing that there. So what basically you're saying, I see some small patterns and notice that there might be something larger going on that I don't recognize.
Mhm.
Okay, then I will just keep my watch and not cause problems, and yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I think nothing else of note. Like I think like it's good that you guys kept watch. I think that's something that totally makes sense, especially with the open doorway. There's no sense of privacy or anything at all. You don't hear the you don't hear the clink of our friend, but you do occasionally, like, and I would say it's quick, not like fast, but like it's hard to notice them. Occasionally you see just the hem of like a white cloak as something must have just floated by.
Actually, one more thing, just curious, right before it's time to wake them up, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on it in the space of the rest. Hold my hand to the wall, and not the palm of my hand, but the back of my hand. So my tattoos are touching the wall. Do they turn gold again?
This is incredible. I legitimately, like, the past 5 rolls have been like 1s, 2s, and 3s.
You guys get in a fight.
Roll initiative. You don't.
You need to
notice.
start playing Paranoia.
You're paying attention to something specific, and I will say that you don't notice like your tattoos glow or anything like that. But I will have you roll a. There's no other way to roll. I will allow you to roll another perception check, this time on yourself.
Okay. I botched it, so that would be a no.
Okay. You're looking specifically at your tattoos, and you're waiting for this like kind of like shimmer of gold to kind of like. And it's hard to tell, like, because there is a lot of gold in this room. Like, it just kind of reflects off of all of you too. Like, it's just it's that. Yeah, no, you don't notice.
And then, as I'm still doing that, since I noticed nothing on me, I glance over at Anthe.
Okay.
Anything there?
No. You don't notice
Okay.
anything.
I remove my hand and shrug it off and be like, all right, must have been the portal.
You got it.
And I'm done.
Very cool. Awesome. So you all awake. Your choice on whether or not a solid surface is good or bad for your backs.
Great for mine.
I'm now 10 fast. I woke up. Not only did I wake up with an extra attack, I woke up 10 faster.
Actually, yeah, you all must be like, wow, solid surface. Like, we've had it wrong. Like,
10 out of 10. This rock is dope.
I've never done something this hard before. I think laying in the wall, sleeping and floating has just been wrong for me, apparently.
I mean, that
This
makes.
is why I always sleep on
I
the
guess that
ground.
makes only one of us, but.
and after maybe about 10 minutes of just gathering your things and kind of like waking up for the day, you hear this clink, 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 and you see your friend just kind of peer in through the door and notice that you're all awake.
Good morning.
Hello.
How are you there?
Walks away from your door, walks back up to it,
I think
and
he
sees
wants
you
to-
walking. Yeah.
I'll kind of walk towards the door, not menacingly, but grabbing my things, like, I'm here now. What do you want?
Cool. Awesome. You notice that this creature does not take you back downstairs. Assuming you all follow it.
Yeah.
Cool. Panthera, what are you doing about that cloak, friend?
It's still staying in the backpack.
Okay, cool.
I'm not wearing it. It's not equipped, so.
Okay. Why am I even trying? Unbelievable, man. You see this being crawling all fours, walks past the staircase that you're at, and comes to another doorway that you do actually see a door. The door itself, you don't see any markings for a... Slagtan, roll me a perception check, because you've had the most interaction with this thing, I think.
Say perception.
Yeah.
It's regular straight roll.
Yep.
Okay. 23.
23, nice. You see this creature actually tap the bottom corner of the door, probably maybe like, you know exactly where it was, so I would say it's about a foot off the ground. Taps the corner of the doorway, and the door just and comes up from bottom to top. So that's,
Okay.
and then just kind of does a quick look back at the rest of you, and then clambers in.
I will follow Creepy, my new friend.
Cool. As you all kind of come into this room is perfectly circular, and you see there's a table that is it's like a long rectangular table that you can see. There is a very large stone, very large golden bench, and you see Zaraneth on the other side. Slagtan, Adim, I think you guys are the first to notice exits and things, trying to focus on. One of the first things you notice as there is at least there are 12 of these beings you saw before you came in to this. As you see, we'll call them white capes for now. You see 12 white capes standing around the up against the wall, all around this area.
And the white capes are bipedal, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
These are the ones you actually saw minis for.
Gotcha.
Swords for hands, seem to be levitating off the ground.
Mhm.
They're all standing very statuesque, but I mean, you know better.
All we have to do is heal them. We're fine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was serious. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. You see in front of on the table is one of those stones, and you see Zaraneth pick it up, and you hear steam. You hear that high kettle sort of sound, because Grian, you don't have a stone.
I thought I got it back from the thing. I thought he gave it back to me, and it was
Did
like,
you?
oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
he got one back.
That's right. Yep. So cool. You hear, please allow your party to take a seat. They also may choose to be present for this conversation. And kind of makes a motion towards the rest of the stones on Creepy's back.
Agreed. If you all want to be part of the conversation, just go ahead and ask for a stone from the things from our friends back here. But if you all want to just hang back and see what happens, I mean, you're more than welcome to, but as long as you have a seat, have at it.
Well, now that Adim's been invited, I'll go over and ask for a stone.
Yeah.
Cool.
As will
Did you just-
Panthera.
I'll pat him on the head when I get a stone too.
I'm sorry, Joe. What did you say?
Didn't say anything, just clicked.
Okay, so I put my hand out to see if he'll give me one, and if he doesn't, I'll then I'll very slowly, so he knows what I'm doing, grab one. But first I ask, like, just do this, like, if he doesn't give it to me.
Cool. Yeah, it doesn't give you at all. And as you go to grab for it, he kind of flinches a little bit, and then starts poking poking the veins in your wrist as you.
I let him, and grab the stone. And once I have it, I just say thank you, and go take a seat.
Okay. Cool.
I will.
Go ahead.
I will go up to him and pull out my hand and see if he places a stone in it.
It does not.
Okay. I guess I will just reach slowly and do like Adim did and just very slowly reach around and try to grab a stone from his back.
Cool. As you do so, a couple things happen.
Okay.
You see him. You're in your tabaxi form, correct?
Set?
Are you in your tabaxi form?
Oh, yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. You see this figure grabs your arm with both hands and starts pulling it down and seems to be pulling it close to its face. And you hear this very for those who still have the stone. Oh crap! Hold on, I forgot what this dude's name is.
I think Slagtan and I are about to be like, well, what is happening? Because we came with nothing. We're like,
Right.
nothing happened to us.
Yeah, you hear a very weird. For everyone who doesn't have the stone, which I think is just Panthera. Panthera, you hear this very loud, sort of quick, piercing whistle sound.
Okay.
And for everybody else, you hear a very stern, confident, almost yelling in a way. It just says, "Nethra, no." And you see what must be Nethra. Puts your hand back. And turns its back to you, allowing you to grab a stone from it.
Okay. What can I make an insight check as to why the creature did that? I mean, or an animal handling check? I don't know.
I'd let either one.
Okay. Let's see which one. Pretty sure. Yeah, I'll do animal handling. That's a 16.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the fantasy equivalent. You originally grew up in Mir, and I would say that, especially in I think in any sort of import sort of export thing with a gate, there's most likely they use some sort of form of animal to be able to essentially smell like drugs, like the fantasy equivalent of a drug dog. If there's something that seems to be out of the way or something that just doesn't seem to be quite right. You got the feeling that Nethra was responding to something just like a drug sniffing dog.
And I have a feeling I know what that was.
And I think you know what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
However, you do senses Araneth told it to stop, and it let go of you.
Okay. I grab the stone and I move away slowly and, down in the chair.
Okay. Cool. You notice that there is no chair on the other side. It doesn't seem that she needs one. She picks up the stone and looks at you all and just goes, "Well, let us begin." And with that, we're going to take our 10-minute break.
Okay. Cool.
So does... Go ahead.
Just could you say that name again? I didn't quite hear it when you said
Yeah,
it.
I'll put it in the
Oh,
thing.
awesome! Thank you. That way I put my thing because I heard it this time.
Nethra.
Nethra. Okay, awesome.
I'm like so nervous we're gonna die. I'm just like, oh well. Been nice.
Trying to figure out how to explain it to you guys, but yeah, that thing. Cool. All right. So it's 10:28 now. My time. I'll see you guys here in 10 minutes. So it'll be 10:38. Bye bye.
Sounds good. It's getting real rough to do that Irish accent like all the time.
Yeah, the accent I picked is very easy. It does not take much energy to do. So
I don't know if it's just like today, because it is something that's a little bit easier for me, but it's just like, I don't know, bro. I'm struggling today.
Honestly, like the way I've done it with my character is that there's certain points where I just kind of, because I had a character that also had an Irish accent, I kind of put it as like as he travels along with the party that doesn't have an accent, it just seems to kind of go in and out.
I think that's a good.
That's like what happened to me at college.
Yeah,
They made
it
fun of me
makes
for my
sense.
accent, so I lost it.
What accent did you have?
It's just Southern Indiana. I mean, it's almost a Kentucky accent. I wasn't even cognizant that I was doing anything.
Yeah. Few of us are.
Right.
I'm from New England, and so every time I go back, it's, well, I don't typically notice it, but my wife notices it.
Yeah, like every time my dad hops on the phone with like my cousins and stuff like that, it's always like the Irish always jumps back into it. But it's like, yeah. Surprisingly
Your dad
enough,
Irish?
yeah, my dad's from Belfast.
Oh wow,
nice.
super cool.
Yeah. But like, surprisingly enough, when I moved out to California, people are like, "You don't have an accent. You're from Florida," and I was like, "No, we all just speak the same. It's fine."
Yeah, Florida accent is thick when it exists.
Oh yeah, like the northern Florida. Yeah, it's
No, oh yeah.
yeah.
Allman Brothers, Florida.
Act the car and have it yard.
That is rough, Finn. That is rough.
Yeah.
Wicked awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, New England accents are difficult.
No, and what's weird is they're highly shown off in movies as one way that they're absolutely not like even close to that. By people from Massachusetts. Like Matt Damon in almost every like movie goes way over the top with this accent. I'm like, no one talks like that, dude. Anyways, okay, let's get back to the movie. All right. So as you all take a seat, I believe we all grab stones, so we're all here for this conversation. I think for everybody, I don't think anybody would have like a high enough arcana to really be able to figure out what this thing is or anything about it, except for maybe Ianthe, who's here but not.
I've got a +4.
Yeah, go for it if you want. I think we had you roll before though.
Oh yeah, I did though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all good. So yeah, it still feels familiar. And so she stands while you all sit. And the movements as she's talking are, they're not robotic in a way of alien is the better term here than robotic. You see there's like certain points where she doesn't move her hands to do any sort of inflection, but you can tell the inflection. Also, I mean, the other weird thing is you guys are all hearing this conversation in your heads. So she says, I know why you're here. I know what you seek. We seek something in return. I'm sure you came into this place from above. I assume you see what lives down here with us.
talk about Gold Coast things?
Yes, the unfortunate.
How do they get that way?
Those that quench their thirst but keep drinking often drown.
It sounds like something a DM say.
Which I would say is it's probably just her way of saying like they got greedy.
Yeah. So you have
There's-
steak?
I'm sorry.
You have the steak. The big steak. I'm sorry, the rod.
She looks confused at this. And you can tell it's like some sort of terminology thing. So I think you also like
Yes.
kind of made hand moves.
Yeah.
Yes, we have what you seek.
What does he do?
It doesn't do anything. It is.
What is it?
A ladder.
I express mental confusion through the stone.
Um, I think she definitely understands the confusion, but she doesn't seem to respond about it. And not wanting to be a dick of a DM, I think it's really like you get the sense of like you'll understand when it happens.
And my mental thing back is accepting that, but wishing to understand it before we might give it to somebody who's dangerous.
Yeah, if you want to voice that, that would steer the conversation for sure. Actually,
You know, as I'm getting this telepathic back and forth, I will telepathically, more than feeling, saying, I would like to be more clear on what the rod does because I don't necessarily completely trust the people who sent us to find it.
I see.
A smart one.
Apologies for not explaining, but the best explanation is that it elevates beings, powerful ones.
That actually helps.
Yeah. She continues. She's
Sorry.
ones that have. It's okay. Ones that have been here long before you and I.
So somebody who's asking for this may have been here before.
It has not always been in our possession. As she says this, she's kind of like staring at all of you. And Slagtan, your choice of whether or not you want to seem unsure about what she's talking about.
I would be unsure what all she's talking about.
Cool. Maybe roll me. I guess in this case it'd be a persuasion check.
Okay, whatever one you want, they're all the same.
It's either persuasion or deception.
I'm using my
yourself.
inspiration. I'm going to use
Okay.
my inspiration because if I don't, it's going to be lost.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, 12.
Okay, cool. She looks at you and continues talking with the rest of you, but also starts to have a separate conversation with Slagtan. And we'll
By the way,
have
in
that-
character, Slagtan is
Yeah.
probably not just telepathic. He's probably talking too.
Okay. It would take you a couple rounds to figure out that like she's not understanding you physically talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that.
So I think there's a couple of like stumbles, and then you get it. You're like, oh, this is how.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll have. Don't let me forget that conversation.
For sure.
She goes. That was not the force that I was talking about. There is another that has crept into the minds. And you see like she's like kind of fumbling trying to figure out the words for it because it's really the minds of these souls. Something dark and vengeful.
Is it this? And I bring up in my mind, thanks to him, used to this, the creature we originally fought outside the gates of Hassan.
Oh, interesting.
Because it wanted the rod too.
Interesting.
Look at a Dean's book making sense finally.
She does not seem to recognize that being.
Okay.
Are we picking up the mental pictures that Adem's putting out, or is it just her picking it up?
I'm broadcasting it if I can.
Right.
I make it like
Okay, so you're not doing like a mental image. I would say the mental image probably doesn't get to everybody. You said that you also had your book.
Well, no, I'm just thinking the notes I take in my book. That's what.
Okay, gotcha. Then I don't think it connects to everybody else. I think it just connects to her. I think the mental image is more of the strength of her being able to reach into your mind to see it.
I see. Okay.
I'm going to bring up in my head that big primordial elemental thing that I had in my vision.
Well, you'll also be having another conversation.
Okay.
So, but you're on the right track.
That they don't. That this isn't being broadcasted. That we're having this conversation.
Say that again. You kind of are like cutting out.
Sorry. Did I get the sense that they were not getting my end of the conversation when I was thinking, trying to get?
The rest of your party?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I'd say looking at the blank faces around probably.
Then I start vocalizing as well, just so that they are understanding what I'm saying, and I'll just repeat myself. And then from now on, just verbally say it and think it if I can.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
I'm trying to be.
I think for this, Grian, I would like a history check, please.
History is going to be a dirty 20.
Nice.
You're rolling very well today.
It's great whenever I need it, when I don't
Seriously,
need
you
it.
have
and then
you have all my good rolls over there.
be like, don't kill me, queen, and then like 3. That's fine. It's cool.
Cool. I just rolled another nat 1 for no reason. Unbelievable.
You may want to get rid of those.
This is the third one, man. I've just.
You have got
putting them
Murph
up.
dice.
Seriously.
Oh my god,
Crazy.
dude.
I mean, if you guys were, dude, another one. There's 4 d20s up on my shelf right now.
Wow.
That's a
You're-
3.
I
Even
think
the DM has dice jail.
Unbelievable. Okay, good.
you,
Well, it's a good thing I'm
might
not playing
be,
right
you
now.
might be surpassing Will Wheaton in the.
Yeah, that's really bad. Maybe
That's-
there's
that's
just a
Will
weird
Wheaton-esque
slant to
bad.
that desk. All right. Anyways, it's all good for you guys. If you guys were in combat, this would be awesome for you. All right.
That's why I said you should play Paranoia, because rolling low is good.
Grian, you think back to the first thing you saw. Was it the first thing? Yeah, I believe it was the first thing you saw when you came into Ravens Rock. You remember having conversations, probably. Yeah, I believe you had a conversation with Adim about the idea that it is bleeding.
That's where I was thinking of going, but I was letting everybody else have their things first. Are you talking about the vines that we saw topside? Like a big
Yes.
plant that just...
It's not a plant. It is a curse that has kept. It's not only tortured and killed the people that decided to be on the surface. It has kept our gates from being totally locked, we'll say. And it's spreading.
Who laid the curse?
We're not sure, but most likely it was something the dwarves dug up. They seem to have bigger mouths than stomachs.
And so if we kill this thing, then we'll be able to trade essentially the job for the objects.
Yes, I believe we would have an agreement.
And it's been down here with you the whole time.
We have been here much longer than it.
Do you have any idea where it might be or live?
Close to the surface for now. But if it were to somehow pass through the gates, this would be a very fulfilling home for it. It is my desire for that not to happen. But my people have no desire to leave in search for it.
And Greedo kind of just looked to the group and... So what do you all think? And I guess I'll talk out loud. What do you all think? Do you think might be something worth doing?
I didn't personally like that plan, so let's kill it.
My internet went down, so I do not know what you're talking about.
It seems
So
to go against the laws of nature.
Let's surmise. Hold on one second. So that
Yeah, I was
Chris
gonna
can
say.
do
So basically, we found out that the plant, like that bleeding vine thing, is this like entity that's keeping. It's like causing all the harm that we had, like the ghostly gold, all that kind of stuff, and it's keeping them from being able to like be completely sealed off. So it's like keeping them exposed, and if it like makes its way through its gate, then they're all doomed.
Okay.
So, and if we kill that, then we get our objects.
Okay. Thank you.
Back to the table.
Well, they don't want to go out and kill it themselves. Is that? I gathered that as much.
That would be
too?
correct. Yeah.
Okay. So they're looking to hire. Change the favor for the rod.
Right.
Basically, is what they're saying.
Right.
And whatever you're looking for, Grian.
Aye. Exactly.
They never mentioned that.
Oh, that's true. They never mentioned the. They only mentioned the road.
Yes, but you keep on saying objects.
That's true. I did say objects to her.
So I'm putting together. You're looking for something.
But anyway, this thing is definitely goes against the laws of nature. So I say we destroy it just out of because it's disrupting the natural flow of things.
Yeah, I'd be happy to kill it even if they didn't ask us to.
Yes.
Yeah. Agreed.
I still want to know why they want the rod in the first place. I agree, we need to kill the bad thing.
And I guess I'll.
I assume you're talking in the group. Just let me know if any of that conversation is being positioned to her.
Well, it's all like, since we're talking to the group, we're all hearing, she's hearing what we're saying too, so.
No, you're talking out loud, so she's not hearing.
Oh, my bad.
Do we have to be touching? To be touching the stones for her to hear us, or for us to be heard by her, or hear her thoughts, or?
Yeah, so you need to be touching the stone and talking through your mind. So talking telepathically with the other beings that have the stone. You all are hearing each other's conversations, except for the conversation that's happening between Slagtan and Zaraneth. Slagtan, you get the feeling that this conversation has nothing to do with the stones.
Okay.
That she's using her own magic to.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna take the telepath feed.
I guess separate from our conversation, I agree and will ask her. You have the spoil glass too, or just the rod?
I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
I guess so, like mental image ideas of what a spyglass looks like.
Okay.
So like different versions of it.
She'll roll an Arcana check with whatever D20 I have left.
Just flip a coin. You're about the
I
same.
literally don't, so I'll just roll the black one again. Okay, all right, not bad. She sees the image that you're projecting. This instrument looks dwarven in nature. I don't believe it's of any of our make. Apologies, but I do not know where this is. When this curse started, the dwarves happened to find a chamber that had been long since hidden. There is much gold there that is relics of our past and theirs. And as she says this, you recognize that you've been in that room. I believe they may have taken one of our own guards. They may be slain. But if possible, they may be possessed instead.
Well, I thank you for the information. And I guess to the rest of the group. So, it's decided then. We'll help them raise this thing to the ground.
Seems reasonable.
It is.
And she says, and in exchange, and she points up, and you see at the ceiling there is there's a floating golden rod that is just kind of like floating in this like kind of midair, like turning ever so slightly. And I'd like anybody who wants to roll an insight check. I think Slagton, I only heard like an eh.
7.
Okay.
Slightly better with a 9.
Same.
Nice. Okay.
I got a dirty 20.
I love it. Cool. Panthera, you're getting kind of like a dirty look from Nethra over there. And you're just kind of noticing your surroundings a little more because of that. As you see her point up and you look up and you see that there is a rod that is floating near the ceiling, you are reminded that this room, because the dirty 20 is really good, this room is the only room that seems to have a door and that seems to be locked. And you also get the feeling that these statues that are around here are not for you. They're to protect whatever's up there.
Okay.
Which gives you a feeling that this thing, while it just looks like maybe a 3-foot staff, it's not very big. This thing looks.
Okay.
This thing is being guarded more than anything in this. I mean, nothing is being guarded in this place except for that.
So I put my hand on the stone again.
Okay.
So the deal is we go back through the gate, go up near the surface, find out how to destroy this demon thing or this entity that's cursing the area. And then we have to come back through the gate to get the staff. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. Well then.
If it helps in confidence, our seer has seen you all come back safe. She is never wrong.
All right. Well, that sounds okay. So
Was there a question?
Is there another way to the surface where we won't encounter the gold creatures that we encountered on our way down here?
Unfortunately, there is only one way in and out of here.
That's what I was afraid you were going to say.
We would very much like there to be none.
All right. Well,
When do you all want to get going?
Sooner the better, I guess. I mean,
yeah. Joe, I didn't say this last night. But before I went to bed, I cast my 2 remaining first level spells as Goodberry.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I have 20 good berries that I'm going to distribute amongst I'm going to give 3 good berries to each person.
Okay. Do you do that in this room?
Oh, no. I probably would have done it while we were still in while we were waking up from our duty, or even before maybe. But I'll give 3 good berries to each person, keep 5 for myself, and when I give them, I cast it before I went to sleep last night, so these are good for 24 hours. If you eat one, it gives you sustenance for a day, and it will also heal 1 hit point. So
I'll eat mine instantly because we haven't eaten in a while.
And I give each of you 3, and I'll keep 5 for myself, including Titian and Ianthe.
This is okay. Cool. So I would say that this is an interesting moment because I rolled to kind of like figure out this. I don't know if she feels like the conversation is over yet. So I will say, is there anything else you want to ask her?
I want to be meta and see how her conversation with me goes, but I do have other things I may want to ask if it doesn't
We
come
could
up.
do that
in
now if you wanted to. Yeah,
Okay.
we can do that now. So she continues to explain things with the rest of you as far as the curse and things like that. And in the middle of all that, she, in a very like Lord of the Rings, Galadriel sort of way, starts speaking to you in a louder voice.
Mhm.
You've seen one of these creatures, haven't you?
Not for real. I kind of got outside my head when I was looking at drawing and saw a big fire.
Who's she talking to?
Creature, me.
This is a private conversation. This is the
sorry.
conversation that was happening. It's all right.
It was burning people. People were bringing it all, sacrifices and gifts. But it was burning everything.
Yes, one of the primordials. You said burning.
Out of character, that's what I remember. That's what I was saying. As people, I remember the heat is the thing I remember, and people
Right.
were. I just want to make sure I remember correctly because I don't know if my notes
Yeah,
are
you're
that perfect.
100% right.
Okay. Yes, they were burning. It was very hot. Even in my vision, it was very hot.
Yes, the Titan of Flame. This was before my time.
My people, old people, weren't there. Like me. There's not many like me, so I noticed.
You share a kinship with us in that way. You are the last of what seems to be a dying race.
It is what I see. That is kind of purpose of stake. Broad. a point.
May I say something? You don't know me very well. There's no reason to trust me in saying this, and you have been asked. You've been asked to retrieve this.
Yes.
But a word of warning. Whatever you raise will change everything you know about this world.
It is my question. I do not know that I want them to have this. I myself don't trust anybody who wants this. I would rather this be destroyed. Why do people want this?
There are many ways to power. We've been asked to protect it many years ago.
Would you even give it to us? Seem very smart, but that does not make sense to me.
She says it's time.
Who is she?
The seer.
Here. She's here?
Yes. She does not meet with anyone, but she tells me that it is time to let go, to trust.
What would happen if we destroy Rod? No one should have this power. No one. No one can be trusted with this power.
You feel a sense of her almost as if she's like leaning in to say this. You feel like her volume gets louder, but she doesn't. You feel like her volume gets louder, but she doesn't seem to raise her voice.
Mm-hmm.
And she just says, I agree. And then the connection breaks.
Okay. I don't have any questions now. She's answered my questions I was wanting to ask.
Sure.
As I'm stepping back to put the gold piece back in the stand's back, it's creepy.
If you gotta go back. Before you do that, she does say to you, please feel free to take it. May help you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I will bring it back when we're done. However, just directly to her, I have a question.
Yes.
And I just mentally, not verbally, mentally replay the experience of the gold and the tattoos.
Okay.
And then I say,
are you trying to have a private conversation with her?
yes.
Okay. You could ask her. So here's the thing: the magic of what made that conversation happen separately had nothing to do with the stones. If that
That's
makes
fine.
sense.
I will still ask her privately, and if she answers publicly.
Okay. Cool. That makes sense. You lean in a little bit because I'm losing you as you like lean back. I think.
Is that better?
I think so. A little bit.
Okay.
Just kind
I can also speak like a choir director.
of.
So I will just replay what happened with the tattoos and turning gold and appearing on Giganthe. And I say, I know very little about these tattoos, where they came from, why they're here, what they do. Well, I shouldn't say what they do. But since you're the queen of this place, and I assume you understand the magic of this place, can you tell me on your end what happened? It might gain me insight into what these are.
Okay. Cool. She's gonna look at your tattoos. I will say, in person, she actually holds out a hand. So,
I
okay.
do it. In fact, I will even like uncover parts of me if she wants to see any others. Like if she makes interest in like, where are they? I'll keep pointing.
Is it like? I know we've talked about it a couple times, but is it like up your arm like this?
So it's on the back of my arm,
Okay.
going to my third, my middle, and my thumb on fingers.
Okay.
It goes down my spine, up the back of my neck, and it completely engulfs both my legs.
Okay. Cool. She probably just needs your hand then, so she'll just grab your hand and she'll. Go ahead.
And just so you know how I made it, and I don't care if they hear, I made it the parts of me that are more human than a Merid. So the picture of the Merid has 3 fingers. That's where the tattoos are. The Merid doesn't have legs. That's what the tattoos are. They have things across their back. That's what the tattoos are. So anything that would make me look not like a Merid, that's where the tattoos are.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. She takes your arm and you feel like it's just cold, hard metal. You feel like as she's holding your hand, she only has one arm. Well, she has 2 arms. You get what I'm saying. So she grabs with one hand and you can feel, it's a very weird sensation that it's not warm to the touch. It's not, it's not like warm, like how like metal can move if it's like at a certain temperature. It is crazy metal cold, but it's moving as if it's skin. Like, so it's not mechanical in any way. It actually feels very fluid. And she's gonna roll with advantage, see if she gets anything. So we'll see what happens.
If I can do anything to let her in, I'm curious. I'm willing.
I think, ooh, okay, nat 20. All right.
Yay.
All right, the dice are back. The other one was a 16, so that's pretty good. All right.
No fighting.
Yeah, hopefully she's not trying to kill me right now.
She just pulls you in for a kiss. No.
Why not? I kiss back.
It's just but it's just a mask, so it's just like it's
Like kissing your
there's-
car.
yeah, there's no face to kiss. It's just, no, she doesn't. Okay, give me a second while I'm trying to think of how she would know any information on this.
Sounds good.
I don't think she would really have any information on it. What she does do is able to unlock the part of your brain that is able to understand it for yourself. So I'm gonna say with this, this succeeds no matter what, but I would like you to roll me an insight check on yourself to see how much of it you get.
Okay. I botched.
Okay. What'd you get?
A 1.
A 1? Okay.
I literally botched.
Cool. Well, like I said, you succeed no matter what, so it's a good thing I said that before in that one. You see almost like kind of like blips that kind of come in and out like a bad TV reception. You see blips of this face that is almost amphibian in nature. It's very large. You can see that there are fins to the side of its face. There's a fin that's like right on the top portion of it that seems to kind of go all the way down. And you see that it has, it looks to have some sort of pen, like an ink pen, and is staring directly down at you. And as this like energy kind of like blips in and out, you feel like almost like a spider crawling up your arm sort of feeling as you see the hand go down towards you and you see the arms start to move, as if you feel like something is being traced on you.
So that's would I be interpreting correctly if Vadim is thinking that's who wrote these on me?
Mhm.
Okay. That's okay.
And you do hear, in this very like deep sort of voice, something to remember me by.
Cool. Is it the same voice I've heard in my head?
Yep.
Okay. That's something. Okay. I allow her to do that, and when it's over, I look overwhelmed just because I thought so. It was overwhelming, pretty. And I say thank you. I appreciate it.
I will say also with a nat 20, because she would understand how she unhooked that memory. She says to you, that was a very locked door. The mind doesn't make locks for no reason.
Do you know why it was locked? If I did it, or if it did it?
Come to me and repeat that.
I said, do you know why it was locked? Did I do that, or did it do that? Or do I even get a sense of gender of this creature? You say deep, so I'm assuming male, but I'm not sure if that's the sense I'm getting.
Yeah, I think you do get a sense of male. I think there's a lot of directions that are pointing to who this is.
Well, I'm guessing, yeah.
Right.
That's my
So you're
guess.
not. Yeah, nothing's confirming that, but like all signs point to.
Right. So I'll call him he then. Like, did he put the lock there, or did I?
Man, you did roll in that 20. I mean, I did roll in that 20.
How do you want to do this?
How do I want to do this?
And he dies.
His head explodes and
Disappear into a lamp.
I'm going to say, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to give you the peek behind the DM's curtain. She does answer that question. I will answer that question for you in a couple days.
Sounds good. Fair. So
I'm
then
leaning
he
one
got
way, but I don't want to tell you.
question and thanks her.
You're welcome. If there is there's something along your journey that requires you not to speak, these stones will help you a great deal.
Are they like token sized?
They're about. I'm trying to think of what. I'd say they're about coffee cup size.
Okay. Thank you. Just to get a vision, I was thinking larger. Okay.
Yeah, so they seem like kind of like they're also like glowing themselves. She'll also tell you, because she's feeling very generous with the nat 20. She'll also tell you that these will also light your way if you are in the dark. Much more useful for you than us.
Thank you.
She kind of like pulls back a little bit, like kind of like breaks from the seriousness of this in a way, and just, you ingest food, correct?
Yes.
Eat. Yes.
Very good. And then reaches up, and you feel this like, and you feel this like very like small sort of firefly come into your hand, Adim. Feel free.
To do what?
A bug.
I'm told that you put it in your mouth and it.
Oh, eat it?
Yes.
Oh. No qualms. I eat raw fish while they're still alive. That's cool.
Love Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
And before we find out what happens, do the rest of you do this?
I would have probably eaten bugs to survive before, so absolutely I would have done it.
21.
Nice.
I'm gonna wait.
Okay, I'll tell you, if you wait,
Constitution
it's going to be
save?
harder to get one.
9.
Okay, so we all don't have one. He just.
I would say, like, you all will be getting them as it comes up. This is the DM's way of saying, like, if one person gets it and you don't like what's going on, so you're not going to do it because meta, you know what's going to happen, or you do like what's going on, and meta-wise, you want to eat it because you know what's going to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
I
this is the
agree.
point where you go, would my character eat this fly?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
I
probably.
did not roll so good on my con save, so
Okay, cool. What'd you get?
9.
9. Okay, cool. Oof, 9 is bad for you.
I had to roll a 2 for that.
I'm a druid, so I'd probably eat the bug. I mean, yeah.
Cool. So con saves from you two.
And the green would probably do it too, so why not? Everyone else is doing it.
Cool.
And I rolled a 24.
Cool. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they're great tonight when I don't need them, and then
Panthera, what'd you get?
I got a 15.
Cool. 15 is the DC.
Oh, nice.
nice.
Sweet.
So nothing crazy happens except that Slagton, you go and ingest this bug, and you feel this warm sort of sensation in your throat. I think for a couple of you, it just feels like it's like, I don't know, just like a really warm piece of steak or something. Like it like probably just burns a little bit, but like not in necessarily a bad way. Slagtan, you immediately regurgitate it, and you feel it and just flies off. Cool. For the rest, and so let's see. Should I ask them or should I just roll it for them? What do you guys think?
roll it.
Roll it.
I think for sure Titian would. I think.
Oh, yes, he would.
too. Oh my god, guys!
Roll ones again.
Nat 20.
A 5 and a 1.
Oh no.
Unbelievable. So the 5 was Titian, but I'm sure it's not plus 10. Yeah,
Oh.
no. Nope,
I
they
would-
both
I would-
just- It just flies out. Okay, cool. For the rest of you, you feel a sense of like a heavy amount of energy that you feel for the next 12 hours. You have 1 casting of haste that you can do on yourself.
One casting of what?
Haste.
Haste.
Oh, really? Sweet.
It's too bad they didn't get him. And Slagtan of all people did not get it.
Dang it.
To
I just
be
want to
fair,
go claw.
like,
I just want to go claw mode with haste once.
it wasn't even like mapped. I mean, it was mapped for you to be good at this.
I know.
In every way.
It's just next to strength. It's my best save.
So now you said we get 1 casting of haste. Is it just on ourselves?
Just on yourselves. Yeah.
Can I clarify something on that? Oh, sorry.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, sir.
He said, we could cast haste, and I didn't know if it was on ourselves or if we could cast it on other people too. But
Yep. Only.
it's just for ourselves. Okay.
I would have been 5 attacks around.
So that action can be used to only take the. It allows an extra action.
Correct.
It's allowed. I'm reading this. I want to make sure I understand. On my normal attack, I get 2 attacks.
Yes. So you get 4.
But then it says only take an attack, 1 weapon attack only. So I wouldn't get 4. I would get 3. Just so I can plan my life.
It is weird. It is weirdly worded. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. If,
It's just for information when I have to use it, like what I'm getting myself into or not into.
Right.
We won't see combat for 30 years, though.
Actually, we use an attack.
Yeah, if you,
one weapon attack only, dash to skater use not. Okay, cool. Yeah. So it'd only be one weapon attack. That's surprising. I didn't know that. Yeah, it's one weapon attack.
I would get 3. Guys,
Yep.
I just want to know. Again, no
Ryan
argument.
Crawford hates fighters.
So basically, the way that we want to think about it is the idea that like activating it once means that you have it for 1 minute. This is also, by the way, not concentration based.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Does it not have the downfall so you can't pop out of it then?
When the spell ends, the target can't move or take actions until after its next turn, so a wave of lethargy sweeps over it. So the reality is that if for some reason the round took more than a minute, yeah, you're all in bad news.
Bang around. But you don't have to worry about dropping concentration.
Right.
That's good. That's the goal.
So I can cast another concentration spell on top of that. That's cool.
On top of haste working for you, yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. You're welcome. Now you get the idea of like why everybody's like groovy down here. Like everything's fine. Also,
it's good fun until it wears off.
Flying cocaine.
It's flying cocaine. It is also like if you never stop eating it, you never feel the bad effects of it, right? Which is very unlike cocaine, everybody. All right, so
I'm grabbing my
drugs,
butterfly.
kid.
I'm grabbing my butterfly net and.
Give it a shot. You're already stretching it as it is on bringing things in and out of here.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
But yeah. So all right. So with that, she says she sees Slagtan and Titian and Ianthe like spit apologies. That's all we have.
He's okay. He'll goes down wrong pipe. He's okay. Don't worry, bugs are good.
Okay.
Next time, don't chew, just swallow.
Yeah, don't chew. Doesn't like it when you chew. All right. So with that, you guys are able to take your leave if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't have anything left to do here.
Cool. Yeah. So
So
if
do we
anyone
know
wants
where-
to do anything here, they certainly can, but they don't have to.
We know where we're going.
Yeah, can they provide us a guidance to leave so that we don't wander the city?
So the way you came is actually probably pretty obvious.
Oh, okay.
Because you have that giant bridge there.
Okay.
To be totally clear, she didn't necessarily give a time frame. So if you wanted to try and do stuff in the city, recognizing one that it's a city that is designed for the people in it, not you. But I mean, if you guys want to explore, it's up to you.
I feel like I'll step on my foot. I don't want to do that.
Cool.
Part of this is me, I think, because of my internet outage. Do we know where this entity is?
She specifically know where to go.
You don't
that's what
specifically
I'm
know
asking.
where to go.
Okay.
In game.
I reach out and ask her.
Meta wise, you guys did. You did go one way down one path.
Right.
So if we go the other way, maybe.
So like that's a totally fair question. I would say if you guys came up the way you came, it would have appeared.
Yeah.
You guys
That
also
would've been
didn't go.
interesting to have spot it before we met her.
Yeah. I was actually paying really close attention to when you guys were in that first room, how close you got to the other area too. Because if you got a little too close, I think I actually even had Panthera roll something at some point. Because you would have seen maybe like the beginning of those roots like kind of coming out against the wall.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So say that again.
Zarin, yes. You're exalted one. don't know what to say. Do you have anything that would protect us from the undead golden crusted formed ghosts as we move our way to get to the creature we're supposed to kill?
I know what you said, but it's cutting out really bad.
I don't know what to do. Okay, so I'll say it again. Does she
That's
have
much better.
any reason asking for protection, or is there anything we can ward away the golden crested ghosts while we're on our way to the creature that she wants us to kill? Is there something that she has that could make that not an issue before we get the big
I love that question. Let's have it just be straight up to the die. So I will allow you to roll a d20, not me.
Oh God, okay, just read d20. Am I just rolling one d20? That's just
Yeah, it's just a luck check.
Okay. It's a 13.
Cool. You know you want me rolling against it because I rolled a 3. Amazing. Yeah, actually, this is kind of cool. She's kind of like thinking long and hard. To someone that like, you guys get the vibe that these people have been down here for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. It's really hard to tell. So concepts that are outside of this environment is tricky for them to be able to even remember. I think would be the best like wording. So she thinks back and she kind of loses. Eventually, like a light bulb just hits. I believe the Fallen will have a hard time fighting those that hold the image of their king. And you think back to how you got into the rooms.
Auditing.
The statue.
We coins have picture of king. Do not know. Please take the statue.
Actually, those coins specifically do not have a picture of their king.
What about? I have another question. What if other friends try to shoot you in back? Anything try to stop that? Make them stop doing that?
He called me a friend.
I'm
Please
glad
tell me
we
so.
got out of that, Grian.
Oh, I just got what that meant now. I just thought you were just randomly asking, like, hey, is there anything to protect from bullets hitting my back?
Known him 24 hours.
Well, since it is a new day, and I have my second level spells back, because I didn't have to waste them on upcasting Longstrider so we could get away from the Mama Owlbear. I can now cast Pass Without Trace on us, and we might be able to get past all those nasty creatures.
I don't think that's what Slagtan was hitting at. Slagtan was hitting at the wisdom saving throws from the gold piles. Because that's what got Grian.
But I thought, okay, I thought it was when they saw us that activated it. Okay, that wasn't it. Okay, gotcha.
No, Grian essentially got possessed, and then jumped down into the gold piles, and that's what started them coming up.
Okay.
But I will say, You can't tell if she's smiling because there's no facial expression at all on her face. But she seems to kind of like move her head down to looking at the like axes and daggers that are on the side of your hips. There, says, I would assume that you are quite capable of handling that yourself.
Oh yes.
Especially
I'll look at my claws. I'll bring out my claws. Oh yes, I'm good.
Oh well, that too. I think you pull up your claws. Okay, cool. And nothing happens because I can't roll above a 10 today. Cool. All right. And with that, you guys can leave. You wave goodbye to Nethra. Nethra seems to kind of follow you out and specifically is focusing on you, Panthera.
Yeah, I figured as much.
I use because I saw him pocket the cloak.
Mm-hmm.
I use that stone, I put my hand on it, and I see if I can focus on Panthera. Can I?
You're gonna have to lean in.
Sorry, I'm trying to cut it all. I focus on Panthera. I put my hand on the stone, focus on Panthera, and just say, can you hear me?
I think you have the stone, so yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You also see it visibly glow in your hands
That's
when
fine.
you talk.
It's okay. I'm hoping it's just a one-on-one conversation. May I humbly suggest that before we go through the portal, you shift back into Direwolf, so that way the portal doesn't stop you with what's in your...
I was planning on it.
Awesome.
Yeah, you exiting. I will roll one last roll here for that. Okay, all right. Just not gonna happen today. You come, you walk in and out on the land of ore.
I was gonna go through with my claws out now that I saw what happened to my weapons.
Okay.
See if you
Cool.
get like golden.
Actually, I'm curious, when we leave, two things. One, I retrieve the pouch and give everyone back their things. But two, are our weapons still golden?
We'll say we'll kind of fast forward as you guys are walking across the. I tried to find a name on this in the internet, and one of the names that was put in the like chat GPT of this was the Golden Gate Bridge, and I was like, "Fuck you!" Like, I'm not gonna name it the Golden Gate Bridge. So you pass over the Golden Gate Bridge, and you continue to move yourself forward through this lava. You feel your tattoos kind of flare up again. You don't hear anything in your head.
I will still reach out and just say, Father, as I go through, while holding the stone.
All right, roll for it. It's pretty high. We'll say, I think, was it a religion check last time? I think it was
I'll roll what you tell me to.
religion, I think.
Sure, why not? I'll keep playing with it. 12.
12. No luck. Nothing. No response. As you guys come out, you notice that your items are still +1. So
Except for mine.
They still have a golden hue. Did you leave as a direwolf? Panthera?
I was actually it was trying to keep me out of this area. I'm gonna try to walk through as I'm gonna switch back to Direwolf before I
Okay.
go through.
Cool, you got it. So yeah, same thing as when you came in. No change there. The rest of you, you notice your items are still +1. They still feel like they're magical and stronger in some way. But I'm just going to make a point of order here that if I recall correctly, the items that you stored away was either a nat 1 or it was really bad.
Yeah, it was a bad roll.
Yeah, it was a bad roll. It was a nat 1.
Okay.
It was full on a nat 1.
Let's do a contested D20 roll to see what happens.
Okay.
So I'll roll first.
I rolled a 19.
Okay, I rolled really well, but not a 19. I rolled a 15. A 15 is really good for me, guys. So you reach back in there, and there's a second where you like reach into that hole, and you feel that there's nothing,
Oh, God.
and then you find it.
Okay, thank you. I give them all back to the Sphinx.
Yeah,
I have my little trinkets. I gave up 2 even though they weren't magical.
I love it. Yeah, Adim turns to the rest of the group, and I think just like full like, see, I told you they were here. Like just like full.
Yes.
I was
told
just
you
kidding,
the rest-
guys.
Right. Awesome. And you guys kind of gear up and you leave. As you leave that room, you come to the next room that you can see. There was the skeletons of these bodies of these dwarves, and now you have a bigger picture of what happened. Looking at these artifacts now, a lot of what you see and pick up makes sense. You have items that are elven in nature, there are items that are dwarven in nature, and I think there's just a point of realization here that's like, okay, they weren't supposed to dive deeper into this, and they tried, and that's what and they suffered because they paid attention to the wrong thing. There's kind of like a point to think about. There's no mechanical thing to that. Does anybody do anything in this room before moving to the next?
Can I see if I can spot the spyglass sitting in the gold somewhere?
Sure. Yeah. Roll me an investigation check.
Jesus Christ. 8.
Nope.
Let me do something important. No. I'm gonna just bullshit around. Fucking 20. Whatever. Anyways, okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Do we see anything that would visibly have, I'm not sure if I'm gonna say it right, Muradin, or however you say it, a visible thing of his before we continue too far into the central room?
Oh, we just take the statue.
There was the statue itself.
So then, can we grab that and just like hold it, like as a warding device? Somebody, I'll do it if you want me to.
It's truly going to be something that is based on who's holding it and what they're doing with it.
I vote Grian or Titian, and since Titian's not here, I vote Grian, because aren't you Paladin, buddy?
Am I tall? I'm 6 foot.
No, Paladin.
Oh,
No, he's
I'm not a paladin.
I got the
you're a
Warlock.
celestial warlock. Are you? Yeah, celestial warlock. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Paladin, I mean, I have no religion or magical ability whatsoever except for these tattoos. So,
You know what?
don't
I
even
will say that's really smart to give it to the paladin, though. So I will say this just works.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
I didn't want to use Titian because he's not here. I didn't want to put him in danger. But if you say it works, yes.
Yeah.
Should Titian get his shield that he adores so much?
I wouldn't if I were.
I will allow him to. It is gold, like, and like.
Oh yeah, that's
I want
right.
to be
Never
like,
mind.
I want to be clear on this. This is the gold that, like, yeah, this is, it's valuable, but it's not very.
But as far as shields go, it's going to dent right away, and yeah, it's just
You love
gold
that
is a
thing.
very soft metal, and is
the
not
first
conducive to
thing-
building.
Yeah, the first thing I thought about, or the first like kind of like barricade I had on like building the city is like, okay, cool. Well, everything's made of gold, and that's what's amazing and beautiful and awesome and like powerful about this thing. And immediately going, well, gold is a soft metal, so how do we build around that? And then I said, it's a fantasy world, brain, deal with it. But in this case, no, that is absolutely just a gold
Soft
shield.
gold.
Yep. For the record,
Not only that, but it would be incredibly heavy as well.
yeah.
Mhm.
Also, Moradin's hammer. Did you end up picking that up?
I found it, but I didn't keep it with me because it seemed like it would be
Okay.
completely useless as a weapon.
It was not just gold. If you remember correctly,
It was
really-
it was plated. Something was plated.
Yep.
But I don't see how I could use it
It's up to
because
you.
it seems like it would be. What?
It's up to you. It was tricky to lift at first, but I think if I said it correctly, I think what I said was you were surprised by how heavy it was.
Okay. Well, seeing as we're going against some possible supernatural entity, maybe I'll grab it, just in case.
You got it. Awesome. And as you you come out to the hallway where the door is, Slagtan and Adim. I picture Titian doesn't like help you with the door, so I'd say Grian probably helps with the door as well, and Panthera. Like, you all can help with the door, but Titian is literally holding the statue and just like this.
Mhm.
As well he should.
That was the best Titian I've seen.
Right?
And you, and as soon as you do that, the gold starts to swirl in a familiar sort of shape, and Titian just kind of just takes a big deep breath, as if I think Titian kind of holds the breath as if there's like poison gas in the room, and just and just goes in with it. I think at first you see Titian kind of like pointing it at the different piles, and you see the swirl starts to die down, starts to go down. And then Slagtan, I think you look at Titian and you think blue is an interesting color for a lion, but it looks like Titian's been holding his breath for a little too long.
Mm-hmm. Breathe. It is fine.
Okay. Okay. And then you start to walk with him, and you're just very careful. I won't make a check on here because I know the nightmares that happened the last time I did that. I will say the ingenuity that you guys had for this moment works really well here. And as you guys start to make your way back, that's when you see the little. And I would actually say, on your way in, you would have had to have made a check. On your way out, you can see it because it seems to have spread. You see that it's just made its way past the doorway that's let in, and you see almost as if there were giant, long-fingered hands pulling against the doorway, and you can see these black, hard, thick briars poking out, inviting you. You could actually kind of picture it like this, like it's inviting you in the worst way.
Of course it is.
And we'll say with that, we'll end tonight's session.
Yay, thank you.
Awesome, gang.
Ah,
Well, you did it. Along with some very bad DM rolls, which worked in your favor. And you guys got to visit and you get to visit again too, because you guys got to go back. You guys get to
And we're going to be
the
fine
city
because
of
the
Orc.
seer said so.
That's right. Okay, full disclosure. Thank you for saying that. That does not give a carte blanche to saying that, okay, well, the DM said that we won't die. I didn't say that. The seer said that. So
The seer is never wrong. So you said
Plot
that.
armor, let's go.
We're Batman. Let's go, baby.
Sure, I can make that 50-foot leap. Because I can't die. Oh, shit.
Just land on your feet. It's fine.
You land on your feet and break every bone in each leg.
God.
But you're alive. And then she said you'd come back alive.
Based on the conversation that Brandon and I had way before he started joining on that, I really hesitate to ever have anything involving Grian and cliffs.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we did, like, there was a lot of introspective stuff going on. There was a lot of explanation stuff going on. So I think a lot of it was being explained. But does anybody have any questions as far as the session goes, things like that? You guys kind of made somewhat of a new friend.
Little creepy guy.
Two new
Yeah,
friends.
Nethra will be our next pet.
Yeah, Nethra. God, I mean, if you
Matt would
want
be
it,
so sad he wasn't there to try and pet him.
he's pretty gross looking. I kind of picked, like, all right, so if anyone's played I don't know why I picture this because nothing of the physicality really matches it, but if anyone's ever played like Soul Calibur, there's a very much like a Voldo sort of feel to Nethra. And if you haven't played, good. He's a very creepy looking character.
I was picturing like a bigger golem.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. You know, he is also gold plated, like, so he has that, like, the
Right.
you know, the legs and the arms, but it is actual hands and feet, which is what's gross. And it is like longer.
I was imagining like a mismatched pieces of a doll covered in gold.
Yeah, that's perfect.
See, I thought like a
That's
gold Jack Skellington, and it's like
Mhm.
like that long-legged.
Yep, that's great. That's actually really, yeah, that is pretty good. Yeah, and I think so there's a couple of unanswered questions that may or may not come up in our campaign at all. But Or was a setting that I think is going to be useful for a couple different things. I think I've made it kind of clearly, pretty obvious. The people of Or have some sort of ancestry with Drow, which I would say even in North Imea, you've never seen I don't think you've ever seen a Drow in North Imea, at least not in your lifetimes, I would say.
Right.
So
I have a question though. On those Drider things, you said they were huge.
yeah, they are huge.
They're like 20 feet tall.
So it's the design around them is more of the idea if you were to splay them out.
Like 8 squares, basically.
Yeah, it's I'm really glad you guys didn't roll really bad and fight one of these things because I had forgotten to paint it in time. But they're pretty crazy looking. I'll paint it, and if you guys get out of there without killing anybody, I'll still show you the mini. I also have Zenareth as a mini as well.
Nethra as a mini?
Excuse me, no, I don't have Nethra as a mini. I do have a mini that is so close to what Nethra is, but it's just as creepy. It's enough to say I don't need to make a Nethra. Nethra was from my noggin. A couple of these were from something that was already made. So, well, cool. I think you guys did great. That was super cool. That was neat. There's a lot of stuff that like could have been explored, but I think it made sense that you guys were like, no, we're here for this thing.
Yeah.
And
If we kill this thing and then come back and get the rod, then maybe we can explore a little bit more then.
yeah, that's
But
also
I
the
think
kind of. Go ahead.
but I think as it stands right now, we get down to business as quickly as possible, and
Yeah,
especially since two of us have a haste spell that we can use in the next 12 hours.
So the three of you do.
I think three of you do.
I'm the
Three
only
of
one
us, yeah.
who doesn't.
Dean was just like, you know what? He's confused enough about the surface world. Now he's in a completely different culture of a group that seems very powerful. I'm going to stay in my room. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll become better friends. I'll explore more, so me stepping on someone's toes won't get us killed. But for now, this is where they want us. I'm going to stick here. That's fine.
Mhm.
I love that. Also, that brings up a good question. What the hell are you guys gonna do with this rod?
That's what I was going to say is my thing I'm looking forward to is figuring out as a party, because I think Adeem and Slagtain are of the mind of we don't want anybody having this thing.
Yeah, what's going through a Deem's mind in metagame is killing this creature,
Mhm.
going back to Or and earning the rod,
Mhm.
and then handing it back to her and saying, lock your doors forever. And then go and say, we didn't get out of the city and the doors are locked. Sorry.
Yeah, the thing is I got since I got a little extra information and I didn't share it, like the jerk I am, I guess, about them that the rod needs to go. My question is, am I going to ask to see the seer?
That's a good plan.
'Cause I want to know why she thinks it needs to go.
Good point. Because, I don't know that.
I will make sure I have the seer mini ready,
Good plan.
Do we
just in case.
do we know what the rod is?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a ladder, and it's going to bring some really bad people. It can be used to bring some really bad dudes. Is basically how I understand it.
And
That's
the
a
scary thing
fair.
is that undead plant thing wants it too. Like, I'm just like, no, let's bury the damn thing.
What Xaraneth specifically said was that whatever you bring up from it will change the world as you know it.
Right, I remember that.
Ah.
And this is the thing. I don't think Slagton ever shared his vision with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
The primordial.
Right. I think, and I apologize if I didn't make this clear, because I think this is important to know. She said she would have probably said one of them. You met one of them.
Right. I think from the pictures in the ideogram or whatever, I think I would have gathered there was more than one.
Mm-hmm.
This was the flame one.
Right.
But there's probably an earth one, a water one, a wind one. No. Because
Yeah,
I think we saw a few different ones, I thought, in the picture, not in the vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's also some secrets here that
Mhm.
that will come to light most likely pretty soon. So
Mhm.
exciting. Well, cool, gang. This was super fun. I love this. I had things sort of kind of ready in case you guys blew past this. I am always glad when you get when we don't get to that point. It just gives me more time to make sure that it's good. And also, like setting up the pieces of recognizing, like, ooh, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. Now I have a week to get that ready. So,
Not to mention, like, we don't want to go marching ourselves into a fight without two people.
right.
Yeah.
Which Tishian did tell me, like, this is what my character would do in case we were in a fight or whatever. So
Yeah.
we're good there. But we don't have to worry about that. Because they'll be back and they'll be married. And that's exciting. Well, gang, let's go ahead and do our kudos and things that we're excited about. We did backwards at the beginning of this, so let's do backwards at the end of this. So we'll start with Brandon.
Yeah. So I'll say my kudos to Chris for some pretty good like role playing interaction between Nethra and even Zaraneth. Like just kind of. There are things that I didn't know about too, so it was cool to see those come into play. Learn something new.
It was fun playing Nethra, like literally Nethra being the metal version of Slagtan, just going like, what makes you you?
Yeah. Will be my pet.
And then things I'm looking forward to are I'm looking forward to the fight with this giant bush. I'm like, let's go.
Yes, keep thinking it's a giant bush.
Yeah.
That is great. Keep thinking that. There's a couple things you guys are gonna have to fight, but you made it very easy for yourself on the. And this is kind of where I was getting at, the like question of, do you have anything to be able to go? Because there, my first response to that question of do you have anything to help guard us from the spirits of these dwarves, my first answer to that question would be like no, because that would make this be a really hard fight to get to. But then story-wise, I was like, yeah, they're the ones that kind of started that part of that curse. So yeah, they would know how to be able to keep people away from it. So you got me on that one. That was good. Cool. Sorry, Brandon, anything else? I cut you off.
No, that's it. Yeah. So excited.
Cool. All right. All right, Finn.
I think I am going to give my kudos to. I think I'm going to give my kudos to Jack because I just love the interactions that he's doing with the with other characters and with us, and just he's like, well, I'm just going to stand back and if they invite us, I'll go. And so he was like playing his character, I thought, very well through and through this entire session. So I'll have to give my kudos to him. As far as what I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to having Titian and Ianthe back next week, and looking forward to trying to kick some plant ass.
Yes, absolutely. There is some stuff too that I'm trying to think how this would work, because I might just have to table it. Sorry. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited to make this boss. This boss is gonna be very fun. I have an idea, and it's gonna be awesome. Or it's gonna be terrible, but I'll try to make it not be that.
We'll have fun doing it.
Yeah. Cool. Chris.
I'm going to give out 2 kudos. One is to Brandon because the new guy was forced to be the face today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he did pretty well with it. And he also was, I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but he was kind of a little bit shady in parts of it. It was really nice in character. Like, if you guys just want to sit back and I'll handle the talking thing, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, as a DM, I was like, are you doing this? Okay, whatever. Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, and the other one is this isn't to the DM Joe. This is to player character Joe, who I thought he did a great job doing Titian and Ianthe today.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I totally tried to play it as like that guy on his phone. He's like, "Oh yeah, give me a second. Yeah. Just go like,
I love it.
I'm looking forward to Eldritch Horror time next week and possibly get to swing a giant hammer against it.
Yeah. Picking up the hammer was a good choice. I'm just gonna say that.
Thank you for leading DM comments. I appreciate those.
You're welcome.
Hammer of Thunderbolts.
If there's anything I need to do inventory wise with that, let me know. I just marked it in so I would have it in there so I knew that I had it.
Yeah, no, thank you for doing that. I am there's a couple different I don't have something fully thought out about it yet, so I
Yeah.
want to make sure I just have that ready to go before I give.
Yeah, just let me know whenever. But anyways, looking forward. I think the creepy plant's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. And last but not least, Jack.
I think I'm gonna have to double up and give Grian my kudos. Adim is not one for mysteries. He doesn't like them, even though I think probably because he's surrounded by them. And Grian's playing a lot very close to the vest. And it's beginning to pique Jack's interest. I mean, Adim's interest, excuse me, I'm Jack. It's beginning to pique. I've been trying to play it like, oh, he doesn't know, but he's saying things here and there. I'm like, what is going on with you? So I have to do that. So yeah, Grian. Looking forward. What am I looking forward to? Finding out what this thing is, I guess. I don't know. I'm just that. I'm a little sad. I will say that, Joe. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm not sad. Adim is sad because of the vision that was unlocked. That I know you're going to talk about later. It made me sad, and we can discuss. Well, I mean, I'll tell you why if you want me to now, but
No, go for it. Yeah, please give it to me.
Based on the words you used, I'm assuming Dad's dead.
Mhm.
Which, and I don't know because there's stuff going on that I don't watch your other shows, but that hit way too close to home. So if you see me,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. I mean, I didn't X out, I didn't time out. It's fine. But I was like, oh, ow, oh, okay. Go ahead and lean into it. I'm not afraid of it. Trust me.
Okay.
I'll do
As long, yeah. I was gonna say, as long as you keep an open conversation with me about that, because I understand where you're coming from.
With it. Like push into it, trust me. But it was strangely on point, and I was like, "Ooh, okay. Well, is Adim going to react the way that Jack would, or the way Adim would, or are those even the same? I don't know. So I have to think about that for a while. Anyway,
if I may, I want to point this out because this is not true for everybody, and I don't, I'm sure as a DM as well, I'm sure you've experienced this as well. It certainly doesn't have to be, but I personally feel that D&D can be very, very good. It can be helpful in things like that. At least for me, I'll just speak for myself on that one.
And
I will tell you. I'll tell you straight up. I've had my therapist was telling me, he's like, this can be very therapeutic for you to work out some stuff. So
therapy is. I think it should be required to hit the age of 18. Anyway, but at least briefly, I never met my father, and found out from my surprise half sister that he had died. And at first I was like, well, I never met him, so whatever. And it was like a week later when I lost it and went, wait, now I can never meet him. And I went into therapy again. So,
yeah.
And that was a very long time ago. So like that was literally in my 20s, and I'm 50 now. So like that's why I said it very close to home, but I'm not. That's why I wasn't like an expert or anything. So I push on
I think it'd be good for us to have a conversation one-on-one on that, because I know I don't know what you're going through, but I get it.
Well, I'd be happy to, but don't back off. But that's why. So I'm gonna have to take some time to be like, how would Adim act, and is it the same way how I acted, or not?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, but
It's fun, not to harp on that, but I didn't. What did I say that signified that? It's true, but what?
Something for you to remember me by.
Okay.
And you don't remember somebody you haven't met unless they're not there. That's why I was just like.
Interesting. I will tell you straight up. That's not what he meant.
Okay, that's how I took it.
But that is true. Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's still among the living on the elemental plane of water, having his little Merid life and being a pasha of something. I have no idea. But I just know that if he's still alive, I'll never be good enough, because that's the way the Merid are.
Yeah. God, and fathers, am I right? All right.
I don't know. So,
Damn it.
maybe.
And with that dark conclusion, oh my gosh. Hey y'all, listen, this is maybe even more important to say in this realm, but I think it's always important to say. I love this. I love being able to have a moment with you all and being able to kind of explore with our characters and who in some ways, either small or large is some sort of extension of ourselves, something that we've made and created. I know that I have to be extremely careful with how close I go with my characters, and I've gone over the edge on that. But I think at the end of the day, I think this game is magical, and I really hope that you all feel the same in that. And in the meantime, we can kill big plant things, and I'm very excited for that too. So. I will say, I think with that, I think it's a good place to call it. So I love you all very, very much. Please have an amazing rest of your week. Chelsea and Matt, if you're watching this, guys, stop watching this. Go and be married.
Congratulations. Go have a honeymoon.
Yes.
Right.
And congratulations and have an amazing time, and we'll see you when you get back. So all right. I love you guys. We'll see you. We'll see you. We'll see you next week, where we get to go and fight something horrifying and deadly. All right.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
It was great.